and you can taste a truly legendary combination that will make you want to yell, "It's Bo time." So don't wait. Grab a Supreme and dip into some Bo sauce. It's Bo time.
There's no time like Bo time. Time to stop whatever you're doing to satisfy your craving for flavor with a Bojangles Chicken Supremes dinner. Choose a 3-piece or 4-piece Supremes dinner. Get your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea. And don't forget the sauce for dipping, because Bo sauce is back. That's right, Bo sauce is back. Hungry for flavor and value and love the Bo sauce? Then it's Bo time.
Get bonus days to save during Window Nation's semi-annual sale now through June 30th. Get 50% off all windows along with no interest for 5 years, plus a bonus 10% savings when you schedule an estimate at 866-90NATION or windownation.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
What a comeback!
Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. It does stay hot this week. We'll see highs in the low 90s for today and tomorrow, but our humidity stays on the lower side, so it definitely could feel worse this time of year. We'll see an overnight low of 67. As we get into the weekend, we could be seeing some dangerous heat.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones currently up 176 points at 38,765.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly. Graham Hill still producing the show. And I have to admit, our optimism about the Triangle teams in the College Baseball World Series has taken a hit over the weekend. On Friday, going into the weekend, we were riding high, talking a little trash, right? ACC this, Triangle that. We were feeling ourselves a little bit. But since then, both NC State and UNC have lost. They're both in the elimination bracket, and NC State is actually playing right now, and they're down 4-1 in the early going, mid-third against Florida, and if they lose this one, it's a wrap-ski. NC State lost in the 10th inning to Kentucky, which is a brutal way to go down. They play again today. As I mentioned, they're down 4-1. But the more and more you zoom in, the more and more tough it gets. They have bases loaded. What was it, with one out?
One out.
In the first inning?
Yep.
Came away with 1 run.
3 runners left on base.
Then Florida gets into the exact same situation in the top of the second. Bases loaded, 1 out. They walk away with 4 runs. We're only in the middle of the third, and there's already so many what ifs, what ifs, what ifs. So State, I mean, the optimism might be waning, but actually with both cases, it's not over yet. It's not over yet, and you don't make it this far unless you have the ability to turn things around. So 4-1, you've already loaded the bases once. Do it again, then you're one swing away. UNC lost to Tennessee 6-1, their first loss of the College Baseball World Series after winning in a walk-off. Tennessee's the best team in the country. That's UNC came after a dramatic walk-off win. Like, that loss, 6-1, is going to happen, right? Everybody's susceptible to that. You're playing what many consider to be the best team in the country, and you're set up to be in an emotional downturn. It happens. But now your safety net is gone. Tomorrow against Florida State, no safety net. Metaphorical, real ammunition, right? Live bullets. Florida State, by the way, eliminated Virginia, who UNC beat to put into the elimination brackets. There's a lot of ACC-friendly fire going on.
Yeah, ACC on ACC crime right now in the College World Series.
A whole bunch of it. Scott Forbes, the coach of UNC, on the overall loss to Tennessee and the fact that they're not quite done yet.
A lot of credit to Tennessee. I thought Drew Beam was really, really good. We had our chance that one inning. Obviously, we didn't capitalize. At the end of the day, I thought that, they got the big hit and they capitalized, and we could not do that. I thought top to bottom, we pitched the ball pretty dang well. But they got it done with runners in scoring position, and we didn't. It's credit to them. The good thing is we lost, but we ain't done. So we'll bounce back, and we'll be ready to roll on Tuesday.
That is and will always be one of the refrains, the choruses from baseball. Runners in scoring position. Were you able to get them home or not? And we're seeing it already in the NC State game. Were you able to get the runners in scoring position home or not? Another refrain, a common practice in college sports, the 24-hour rule. Scott Forbes of UNC again.
Yeah, that's what I told him. I said, move on. We have a 24-hour rule when we win, but after we lose, even quicker. You got to walk out, and it's gone. The great thing about this format, I've been in it. In 2006, we won the first three, we won the first four, and we didn't end up winning it. 2007, we lost the same game, and we made it to the national championship. So I feel like we had the pitching to bounce back, and I just told them, keep their heads up. You're at the College World Series. You have a great opportunity ahead of you. We'll get back, take a shower, turn your loops in, eat a meal together, get some sleep, and get back to work tomorrow.
24-hour rule after a win, after a loss, it's even quicker.
Yeah.
I respect that. Here's what I have to say to UNC. You need someone in addition to Vance Honeycutt.
Yep.
I went actually back. I went back to the notes that I prepped my show with, and I found the question prior to the regional starting. We had Darren Vaught on, USA Baseball. We had him on the show. And I kind of asked him a question or two about every team from the area that was going on to continue playing. And I found the first question I asked him about UNC Baseball. I said, Vance Honeycutt is in the 20-homer, 20-stolen base club this year. Who else needs to step up? Or what else needs to happen for UNC to go on a run? That's the question I had in my notes. And I actually think I asked it more with do they have the star power on other parts of their roster? In the game UNC won in Omaha against Virginia, Vance Honeycutt hit the walk-off. In the game UNC lost 6-1, Vance Honeycutt hit a solo home run. It has to be someone other than Honeycutt, in addition to Honeycutt. Right? You need someone other than Honeycutt in addition to him, right? If you believe he is Steady Eddie, right? He is like the male. Rain, sleet, snow, or hail, he's always going to deliver. That's cool. But you're going to need something in addition to that. And that should be the challenge to UNC, right? That should be everyone other than Honeycutt should be taking it as a personal challenge as they go into their game on Tennessee against Florida State. By the way, as we were talking there, NC State hit a 2-run home run. That score now 4-3. Florida still leads, but NC State has the plate still in the bottom of the third.
Why do I feel like there's going to be no pitching in this game? At first, it looked like there was going to be no hitting. Now it looks like there's going to be no pitching. Speaking of no hitting, nothing that caused North Carolina that loss against Tennessee. They didn't get their first hit of the game until the bottom of the fourth. Team against Tennessee, you got to strike early because they'll make you pay for it.
And Obviously, yes. You got to strike early. You got to make them sweat. You got to put the pressure on them, which is something that I think NC State has done very well throughout their postseason run. Even the games where they've had to come back late, they've always done something early on to put the pressure on the other team and kind of immediately ramp up the intensity. UNC could use a little bit of that, but it goes back to what I was saying. Which is they seem to be waiting around for Honeycutt to be the ignition. Right, the walk-off, what was he, 0 for 4 or 0 for 5
right.
before getting the walk-off? It's like, don't wait for Honeycutt, right? Don't wait for him. Have someone else step up. Don't wait for the other team to get it done. Step up right from the beginning. I mean, right now you may not believe it, but I do think it matters that NC State scored first, right? They go up 1-0, then they go down 4-1, but they were kind of they got the first jab in, and now they're into the mix. Either way, I will say this, and this is where I started with it. Optimism a little bit lower, but you're not dead yet, right? It's they're at the point in Rocky where it's like, can you see? Yeah, or actually even better movie reference. Have you seen the movie Cool Runnings? You have not. You're too young for Cool Runnings?
Yeah, admittedly so. I have not seen it.
This is a problem. Do you know generically what Cool Runnings is? Oh, no. Do you know who John Candy is?
Yes.
Okay, John Candy is in it. We found a little common ground. But there's a part at the end of Cool Runnings. Now I feel like I'm ruining it for you.
I'm not a big movie guy as it is, so you're not ruining it for me.
Yeah, but you're a sports guy, and Cool Runnings is one of them. But there's a point at the end where they crash, and they ask, I forget who they ask, Sanka maybe, you dead? Nah, man. I've got to finish the race. Like, are you dead? Nah. They still can finish the race, and I'm so upset you don't get that reference. The Jamaican bobsled team?
I mean, I get the meaning, for sure.
The Jamaican bobsled team. Made up of sprinters? He's giving me a blank stare. There's just nothing here.
Sorry, folks.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I did not expect to go down to Cool Runnings this early in the week, but it's Summer Olympics, but we're still coming up on the Olympics soon. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, the next question in our series of 99 questions about the college football season. And yes, we will keep you updated on the Florida-NC State baseball game as it continues. So all of that and more coming up next.
Dennis Cox here with my friends at Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Check them out online, deepriversportingclays.com. And while you're there, sign up for their newsletter. They have exclusive offers and things for people that subscribe to their newsletter. So make sure you do that when you're at deepriversportingclays.com. And also, when you go do your round of clays next at Deep River, it's only minutes away from anywhere in the Triangle, by the way. Do your next round of clays there. Let them know you heard about it here on 99.9 The Fan. Get yourself a free Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School t-shirt. deepriversportingclays.com.
We're jamming your June with championships. The NBA Finals.
The Dallas Mavericks put down a 38-point beatdown on the Boston Celtics.
The Stanley Cup Finals.
McDavid the other way. Scores! This one can't end soon enough for the Florida Panthers.
The U.S. Open.
And strokes the putt up the hill into the middle. 2 times a U.S. Open champion, Bryson DeChambeau.
Catch every winning moment with us. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
The story of the nurse and the foot pain that nearly brought him down.
I feel like I'm giving people their lives back.
Robert lived to take care of his patients, but he couldn't do it unless he took care of his foot pain.
I have plantar fasciitis. It'll almost put you on your knees. That's how much it hurts.
His own recovery started when he got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now that I'm pain free, I can make these people feel better.
Can't beat that. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com. A story of first downs and second chances. Meet former pro football player Michael Robinson.
I wanted to keep playing, but my feet hurt.
And all those big league experts couldn't help?
You have access to anything, but none of it worked.
Finally, he got fitted with Good Feet arch supports.
Let me tell you something. They work.
Now, he recommends Good Feet to
anybody. If you move, go to the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store is in Raleigh, Chapel Hill, Fayetteville, and other locations across North Carolina. Visit goodfeet.com to book your appointment today, or just stop by the store nearest you.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing. Made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories. All without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver. All the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew. 30 seconds. That's it. Done. Peace.
If you see me stopped in the McDonald's drive-thru, just staring at the menu with my "what should I order" face, don't interrupt. It's the most important decision I'll make all day.
Enjoy savings every day when you get a McDouble, McChicken, and other faves. Buy one, get one for $1. Plus, get any size Dr. Pepper for just $1.29. Price and participation may vary. Valid for product of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Hey, Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings. We are this close to crowning an NBA champ. And with the action heating up on the court, it's even hotter at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. It's super easy to get started with DraftKings if you're a first-timer. Try betting on something like a team to win. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. It's that simple. And if you're new to DraftKings, you got to check this out. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Just to keep you updated on the NC State College Baseball World Series game, an elimination game with Florida. It is now just starting the top of the fourth. State's in the field, and Florida leads 4-3. That's where we stand. We'll keep you updated. It's also time for the 99 questions about the college football season series every single day, every single show. Starting a while ago now, we've been asking a question about the college football season to make sure we're prepared from every single angle for the action to come, and this will lead right up to the opening kickoff of the season. I thought we'd keep it simple today. Thought we'd keep it kind of obvious. Who's going to win the Heisman? It's one of the great debates of every college football season. Who's going to win the Heisman? Who are the betting favorites? Who are the local players that might make a run? Who's going to win the Heisman? And the reason why I think it's particularly interesting this year is, do you have any idea right now in your cars or wherever you're listening to this? Try to guess who the betting favorite to win the Heisman is. Tougher than you think, right? Last year was like Caleb Williams. He was the defending Heisman. Or Drake May. He was a returning, expected to be a top 3 pick. There were very obvious answers. This year, who do you expect to win the Heisman? The betting favorite is Carson Beck. Second betting favorite is Quinn Ewers. Dylan Gabriel. Nico Ayamaliava. Will Howard, Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe was benched last year at one point in time before being efficient down the stretch for Alabama. Quinn Ewers hurt and up and down. Carson Beck benefited from an unbelievable supporting cast at Georgia. Those are the betting favorites. That is not a strong class of obvious favorites, which means realistically This could be a year for kind of the Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels style, come-from-nowhere Heisman Trophy campaign that ends up winning the whole thing. Nobody is starting with that wide gap between them and everybody else. And also, no one is starting with expectations that make it impossible for them to achieve. There were certain years where, like, you know, for Tua Tagovailoa to win the Heisman, he would have had to throw for 900,000 yards because everyone was just expecting him to lead the country in passing efficiency. He was going to do something above that. There's nobody with those kind of expectations this year. Realistically, this is a year for a come-from-nowhere Heisman campaign, which, if you are banking on somebody from the Triangle to win it, is good news. Because nobody from the Triangle is near the tops of any betting list. No one from the Triangle is even on, like, the dark horse list. So I'll give you, in a second, I will give you my pick nationally. As it stands right now for a come-from-nowhere Heisman campaign. But from the Triangle, I think there's two obvious and then one come from nowhere. The obvious would be Omarion Hampton and Grayson McCall.
Okay.
Omarion Hampton has a chance as an All-American running back to be one of those rare running backs that win the Heisman. It used to be much more common. But if you do put together something like a 1,800, 20-some-odd touchdown campaign and UNC surprises people and is better than you thought, I think that could be a way that a running back ends up making that move. Grayson McCall, quarterback NC State, I think he might benefit. And actually, whoever kind of ends up in the college football playoff might benefit from, like, being the best player on one of the college football playoff teams for the last decade has made you a pretty likely Heisman candidate. Like, if you are the biggest stat compiler on one of the college football playoff teams, there's a good chance somebody's gonna put together a Heisman campaign for you.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why Carson Beck's the favorite, because Georgia's favored to win the national championship for the third time in 4 years.
And it's like, well, I guess the quarterback of Georgia. I guess
someone's got to get them there.
If NC State is able to work their way, sneak their way, whatever you want to call it, into the college football playoff, I think their position groups are diversified enough that it's going to be like that. It's just going to go, I guess the quarterback. Right, because Casey Concepcion might have a huge year, but Noah Rogers might have a huge year too. Which one are you going to pick? I guess the guy getting him the ball. Justin Jolie at tight end might have a huge year. Jordan Waters out of the backfield might have a huge year. I guess the quarterback who's pulling the strings. But that is contingent upon NC State making the college football playoff. And also it's contingent upon the voters, like, almost subconsciously not realizing that more teams make the college football playoff now. All right, because, you know, if you're the 12th team in the country, you're good, but in the past, that wasn't a playoff year. You know what I mean? And with auto bids and everything else, you know, you might not even have to be the 12th team in the country. But you know who the come-from-nowhere edition, Triangle edition would be?
Who's that?
Malik Murphy, quarterback Duke.
Okay.
Because, see, NC State has a bit of those expectations things, right? They have to make the college football playoff. If Duke wins 9 or 10 games, even if they don't make the college football playoff, they'll be once again one of the darlings of – remember last year? All of a sudden they were on, like, prime time every week.
Yeah, college game day come.
It's going, where did this come – like, Duke could do that again because their coach left, their quarterback left, all the expectations fell back to the floor. If Malik Murphy does something crazy, that would be the local version of a come-from-nowhere campaign. Nationally, though, if you're going to make me choose, I like the idea of Miller Moss. Miller Moss is the quarterback at USC. USC has a massive recruit coming in the 2025 campaign. Miller Moss might be like the bridge starter between Caleb Williams and the 2025 recruiting class, but that might be all he needs. I could see him, he's the quarterback at USC, being a little Mac Jones-ish, where the guy before you was so prolific that when you step in, everyone thinks you're just going to be a game manager, and then you put up crazy stats. People probably already have forgotten. Miller Moss had a bananas bowl game when Caleb Williams elected not to play because he's going to go pro and be the number one pick. Miller Moss went crazy. And statistical games like that are what can turn you into a Heisman Trophy contender, especially when there's not a year with the obvious, right? There's not a year with somebody who's going to go crazy and everybody knows it. Are there some running backs out there? Ollie Gordon, the running back from Boise State? Sure. Are there some wide receivers? We didn't even mention Marvin Harrison Jr. last year would have been a guy that coming into the year had hype. There's, I don't know, a wide receiver from Arizona that's pretty good. Tay Tyroa, I believe his name is. There's a few. But when you're looking this far in advance and there's no slam dunks, I almost think it's smarter to look down the list of betting contenders to maybe even off the board than it is to look at the favorites, because the favorites are, for the most part, unproven guys who, because of the nature of being favorites, are going to be super highly given expectations, and that's not necessarily the best way to become a Heisman Trophy winner. By the way, where are we at? End of the fourth? Is that where we're at in the NC State game?
I believe so.
Let me go ahead and update my. Yep. Oh, middle of the fourth. Sorry, middle of the fourth. So NC State's coming up after getting out of the top of the fourth. No more damage. Florida still leads 4-3. But again, State is due up with their 8th and 9th hitters, and then they'll bring up the top of the order. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have to talk about it. We have to talk about it when we come back. Rory McIlroy may never be the same. Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Being the head coach of the Lakers feels like an opportunity that you really can't say no to, unless you're put in an impossible situation of having championship expectations, knowing that this roster is nowhere close to that. And so the Lakers are going to be right back in this same spot, this same cycle of dysfunction, this same treadmill of mediocrity.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
This is Gordon Miller, founder of Miller Lending in Cary, with two exciting announcements. Back in 1950, my father and uncle moved to Detroit and opened Miller Brothers Realty, a business they ran for the next 50 years. Fast forward to 1996, and I moved my family to Raleigh and opened D&J Mortgage, a company I'd named after my children. And today I'm happy to announce my sons Daniel and Justin will be leading Miller Lending as we head towards 100 years in real estate and lending, all the while following the one basic principle I learned growing up in that environment. Always treat your customer as you'd want to be treated yourself. Now, while Miller Lending has long been associated with our popular no closing cost program, I'm also excited to announce the opening of our purchase money division with a strong emphasis toward helping first-time homebuyers navigate the mortgage process. So whether you're buying a new home or simply refinancing the home you're in, call Miller Lending and experience the benefit of working with a locally owned family business. In Cary, 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146.
Houston, permission to detach boosters.
Negative, Commander. You're off course for the moon. Sensors show something massive on board. Did you bring additional items?
Only the new loaded scratch-offs.
Those are loaded with $50, $100, $500, and $2,000 prizes. You're on a trajectory towards Mars.
Nice. First person on Mars. Take that, billionaires.
New loaded scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Massive amounts of prizes. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.8 to 4.88. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Thinking of popping the question? Diamonds Direct has an offer you can't miss. This month only, buy a natural diamond engagement ring of 1 carat plus and receive a free natural 1 carat diamond tennis bracelet valued at $2,000. Imagine giving her the ring of her dreams and her wedding gift all at once. No one provides education, selection, and value like Diamonds Direct. Your chance to get a free tennis bracelet from your friends at Diamonds Direct won't last long. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
What seems to be the problem?
Doctor, thank goodness. My husband found out Cricket Wireless has 5G plans starting at $15 a month, and his jaw just dropped.
Did he hear about Cricket's blazing fast 5G?
Yep.
What about their reliable nationwide coverage?
Yes, that too.
I see. Unfortunately, there's no cure. But you will have really fast 5G.
Get jaw-droppingly fast 5G for $15 a month. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Cricket 5G requires a compatible device and is not available everywhere. Video may be limited to SD. Fees may apply. Terms and restrictions apply. Subject to change. See store for details.
Hey, it's Victoria in studio with WakeMed's Dr. Michael Williford for Men's Health Month. He's with WakeMed General Surgery, specializing in minimally invasive hernia repair. What exactly is a hernia?
A hernia just means a hole anywhere. The most noticeable ones are on the abdominal wall, the belly button hernias, the groin hernias. Hernias can occur for many different reasons. We all have an umbilical cord in the womb. We all have a natural defect there at the belly button. Over time, that can grow and become larger. Similarly, in our groin, groin during development. Our testicles descend there. We have a natural hole in the groin as well, and we can develop a bulge there as well. And we think up to 10% of men will develop some sort of hernia in their lifetime, and generally hernias get larger over time. There are a few things that can make them get larger. Anything that increases pressure on the inside of the abdomen, weight gain, straining for constipation, men that do repetitive heavy lifting at work, an incision can make your tissues weaker.
Learn more about WakeMed General Surgery at wakemed.org.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Bobby Joe absolutely hated her job.
Can't hate that job any more than I do.
So, time for one of those fancy tech schools?
No, I could never afford that. I'm going to Sharky's.
Sharky's?
Yeah, no better place to relax. Great food, cold beer, good whiskey, darts, billiards.
So now you love your job?
No, I still hate my job, but I loves me some Sharky's. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, everybody loves Sharky's. Sharky's Place, one of the best neighborhood bars in the world. 5800 Durley Road by the Shell Station.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The U.S. Open ended on Sunday. Pinehurst here in North Carolina. We'll talk about why Pinehurst is such a fantastic backdrop for the U.S. Open. We'll talk about Bryson DeChambeau finally, or I don't even know why I said finally, getting over the hump and winning his second U.S. Open and winning over some fans. We'll talk about it, but first we have to talk about Rory. Rory. Rory McIlroy legitimately may never be the same after collapsing at Pinehurst on Sunday. And I don't say that as I don't not take any solace in saying that. I was rooting for Rory, and I know in this industry you're supposed to be completely objective, but how could you not? And that collapse is something of epic proportions. That is, a 3-0 lead and then getting swept to lose 4-3. That is being up 30 and losing. That is the Bill Buckner between the legs. Might be Bill Buckner between the legs twice. Might be like if he came back out the next inning and did it again. Rory McIlroy was 2 strokes ahead of Bryson DeChambeau with 5 holes to play in the U.S. Open. Rory McIlroy has not won a major in forever. I'll tell you exactly how long in a second. He was 2 strokes ahead with 5 holes to play. Bryson played the final 5 holes over par and won without a playoff. Do you know how many days it had been since Rory won a major? 3,598 days. Essentially a decade. 3,598 days since he last won a major championship. If you would have told me 3,598 days ago that Rory might finish his career with 4 major championships, I would call you a liar. I would say you are crazy. But yet here we are. Andy North, golf analyst, on the loss for Rory McIlroy.
I would think tonight's going to be just a miserable night for Rory. The putt on the 72nd hole was really a difficult one. It was, maybe 4 feet downhill, slider from left to right, had to play it outside the hole, probably a cup. Those are not easy to make, particularly the speeds, these greens. But the one at 16, I think that's the one that he's just beating himself over. And he played 2 beautiful shots and he 3-putt from 20 feet or whatever it was. That just kills you. But, he made so many putts all week long. His short game was beautiful. The pitch that he hit at 18 was a fantastic pitch. He pitched it like that a ton of times during the course of the week. It's just so sad that it comes down and can you make all those 4 or 5 footers? If you can, you've got a chance to win the Open. If you don't, you're not going to. And that was the case today.
Here's the deal. I'm hearing this a lot. oh, that putt on 18 was more difficult than it looked. It had more break than it seemed. And, oh, it's actually not that easy of a putt. And the one earlier, a few holes before, was so much worse. The broadcast pointed it out. Rory was 49 for 49 on putts inside 5 feet until missing those two in the final few holes to lose. That does not say 49 for 49 on putts inside 5 feet that were actually exactly as easy as they looked. It does not say 49 for 49 on putts inside 5 feet that were simple and straightforward. That says 49 for 49 on putts inside 5 feet. That's the ones with more break than you think, the ones with less break than you think, the ones that are uphill, the ones that are downhill. He had been making those putts consistently until the pressure ramped up. And then once the pressure sat on his shoulders, he missed them. And you may say, well, that's just, 51 putts? That's not a big enough sample size. I can do you one better. According to Justin Ray, who is one of the kings of golf stats, you can follow him on Twitter, Justin Ray Golf. It's fantastic. Rory was 496 for 496 when putting inside 3 feet this season. He had putt inside 3 feet almost 500 times this season and had not missed a single one until all of the pressure was on his shoulders, and he knew if he played the last 5 holes just par golf, you win. Then all of a sudden he missed a 3-footer. There's something to be said for how well you handle pressure, and Rory has to battle those demons.
It almost felt like you could feel his fate start to turn where I believe it was maybe hole 15 where he had the nice approach shot, but then it just kept rolling and rolling.
And I even have a problem with that. This is a perfect example. Thank you very much, Graham. 15. What does Rory do with his approach shots better than almost anyone? He can send them to the moon. He can send sky balls. Right? He's been that guy. He's been the one with the hand-eye coordination that works at high speeds. He's been the one with the pretty swing. He's been the next this, the next that. He can send his approach shots to the moon. There were a few times, and I believe on 15, he sent little low skippers. And I'm going, wait. You don't see Steph Curry in the final minutes of a NBA Finals game suddenly go, I'm going to try to dunk. Right? No, what he does best is he shoots. It was like a little bit of everything for Rory, just not doing what he does. Right? The decision to try to change it up, not settling into a putt, second guessing your read. On the 18th hole, on the putt that everyone's gonna call him out as the choke job, the miss on the 18th. Because I can't help but talk things out when I'm watching. I'm watching it, and I think I was talking to my wife. He was lined up way left. I went, wow, he's reading a ton of break on this. And then you could tell on the actual putt, the swing and follow through, he kind of like half-armed it, right? He got nervous, which I would too, reading that much break on a small putt. So I couldn't help but think, why didn't he just go firm and center cut? Why didn't he just go firm into the middle of the hole? Hit it through the break. Or if you're going to read big break, commit to it. Rory isn't the type to not commit at any time other than when the world is on his shoulders. And that's what he's going to have to deal with. Right? Everyone's mad that he didn't speak to the media after. I don't know if you saw all this nonsense because you were there on Sunday, right?
I saw the video of him spinning tires.
Yeah, he spun his tires on the way out. Everyone wants to make a big deal about it. I think he should have stayed. Okay, I think he should have stayed. I think he should have answered questions. Right? If there's a multiple choice, the best choice was stay and answer questions from the media. But guess what? Like from where I'm sitting right here, a member of the media. What do you want to get from him answering questions after the round? Talking points. You want to get how does he feel about it? You want to get storylines. Well, we got all of that from him spinning his tires on the way out.
6 minutes after the tournament ended.
How do you
pretty much tells you all you need to know.
Without him answering our questions, how do we know how he felt about the final round? The squealing tires on the way out 6 minutes after Bryson made the putt tells us everything you need. A picture, a video is worth 1,000 words.
And the video of him in the clubhouse watching DeChambeau sink the game-winning putt.
Brutal.
Or tournament-winning putt. Yeah, it tells you all you need to know.
This is as close as he's gotten to a major. Maybe other than when Cam Smith went nuclear and Cam Young was there with him as well in the Open a couple years ago. But this is not one that gets shaken off easy, right? We just played the audio earlier today from Coach Forbes, Coach UNC Baseball. And he said they have a 24-hour rule for wins, and it's even quicker than that for losses. That's not possible with this one for Rory. There's no way you're over it. This takes some doing to get over it. Takes some work to get over it. How do you not see this putt when you close your eyes at any big putt for the rest of your career? It's almost like if he's going to win a major now, he has to win it by 6. He has to do what Scotty Scheffler did in his first Masters, right? Be up by so much that you can 4-putt 18 and win anyway. Now let's get to the tournament. Let's get to Bryson. Do you ever wonder, and I know that people here in North Carolina are going to say, no, of course not, because North Carolina is awesome. But hear me out. Do you ever wonder how Pinehurst can compete with Pebble Beach, Whistling Straits, all the other oceanside courses for like favorite U.S. Open venue or for favorite venue to watch golf, favorite venue for a tournament? Watch Sunday, this past Sunday. Go back and watch, and that's why, right? I have a list of courses here. Kiowa Island, Pebble Beach, Whistling Straits, Bandon Dunes, Chambers Bay, Torrey Pines. If you're a golf fan, you recognize these places. If you're not a golf fan, just know that there are multiple holes on each of those courses that have, like, screensaver-worthy views, like the ones that you just beautiful ocean or beautiful water and sand and grass, and it all mixes together, and it makes it so when the golf isn't going on, at least you have something good to look at. And for everything Pinehurst brings, not a lot of water. No ocean views.
It is dry out there.
It is dry. The areas you don't want to hit it are just like kind of itchy looking grass. Like there's relatively flat. There's not a ton going on, yet somehow, some way, everyone in golf loves Pinehurst.
The course is essentially concrete when you really think about it.
At least the greens. At least the greens. It's like every bounce feels like it's off of a cart path. Pinehurst, no water, no ocean. Why is it so routinely called one of the best U.S. Open sites? And why are they now coming back? What is it, every 5 or 6 years? It's in the rotation?
5 years.
Every 5 years it'll be back. Why'd they make that choice? Watch Sunday and you'll understand. It penalizes shots that deserve to be penalized. There's no loopholes in that course. You hit it off the fairway, your day just got tougher. You keep it on the fairway, it's pretty awesome. That's how it should be. That's how courses are designed, to penalize the right shots and to reward the right shots. And then what else does Pinehurst do? It sets up dramatic finishes darn near every time. Right? The collapse by Rory, the near collapses by Bryson, they were guaranteed to happen down the stretch at Pinehurst because that's what Pinehurst does. When you get a little tense, when you grip the club a little too hard, when it goes out just 1 degree different, you're not going to be okay. But guess what? When you make a bad shot, you shouldn't be okay. Right? When you make a bad shot, you should have a tougher next shot. The best thing, let's talk about Bryson. The best thing Bryson did, there were 2 things actually, and this is not an insult to Bryson. The 2 things he did best over that 18 on Sunday was get lucky and scramble out of the bad spots that he was in. He was not great off the tee. Some would say he was bad off the tee. But he was able to, once you get put in a bad spot, immediately turn the brain to, How do I get out of here? How do I make it better? How do I mitigate the damage? How do I make sure a bogey doesn't become a double bogey? How do I make sure a double bogey doesn't become a quadruple bogey after that? There were a lot of times he hit it into the deep stuff, and I was like, oh. Then they show the ball, and Smiley Kaufman was there, the court side reporter, and he's just like, actually, I think he's going to be able to put a swing on this. May have a little bit of grass in his backswing, and I'm going, how? Other guys, they go into that same swing, same left, and it's like, well, it's right in the middle of the spider grass. He has a tree in his backswing and a root down there, and it's like, goodness gracious. But Bryson, up until 18, mostly avoided all of that, and then on 18, he dealt with it.
Did some landscaping on 18, too. Knocking that root out of the ground.
Ripping it out. But that was really the first time he got put in a bad situation, and he found his way out of it. You have to give him credit. A whole bunch of those other shots where it's like, maybe that should be bad. It was in the bad stuff, and he found a way to deal with it. Andy North, golf analyst on DeChambeau's shot on 18, the one out of the bunker that should be seen as one of the all-time greats.
I mean, I think you could argue that goes down as one of the top 10 shots probably in open history for a player to win on the 72nd hole. A 55-yard bunker shot that he blasted, that's impossible to do. Most players can maybe get 40 yards out of it. Not only did he carry it the distance he needed to, it ends up rolling up to 3.5 or 4 feet from the hole. So just an absolute amazing shot. If he doesn't pull it off perfectly, it might go over the green, double bogey, and all of a sudden Rory's standing there with the trophy.
I did not think the style that Bryson played, that won it, could be pulled off. But he did it. Right? We talked about the dichotomy of, I think it was Walter Hagen and Bobby Jones, and now we're going way back on the golf nerddom, but we talked about this on Friday, so we're telling the through storyline. Walter Hagen was the guy that was like, hey, on a par 4, you only need one great shot. Right? You could be in the woods, you could be over the green, you have one great chip, put it near the hole, tap it in, par. Right, par 5, you could be terrible off the tee. Next shot could be great, 2-putt, par. Right, there's actually, I think I may have even just drawn up a birdie in my mind. You only need one great shot, essentially, was Walter Hagen. He was the spectacular. Bobby Jones was down the middle, laser focus. You don't need any spectacular shots if you hit 4 really, really good ones. Bryson fell in the Walter Hagen camp. That shot that Andy North was talking about, the 55-yard bunker shot to 3.5 feet, was unreal. Unreal. So much so that I think Pinehurst is probably going to have to get used to reinforcing the windows on that clubhouse right behind the 18th green, because everyone that plays Pinehurst number 2 now, and you can just pay a bunch of money and go play Pinehurst number 2 like it's a public course, they're going to drop their ball right there, and they're going to see if they can recreate it. And all you're going to get is a bunch of hack golfers hitting it about 200 yards with how hard they have to swing. They're going to pick it clean, and they're going to drill the clubhouse. It's going to happen over and over and over again. That shot was unreal. I didn't think that was going to be possible at the U.S. Open at Pinehurst. I thought the U.S. Open at Pinehurst was going to require staying out of the situations that required the exceptional. Bryson said, I think I'm just going to do the exceptional. Give him credit. Little help from Rory coming back to the pack, missing a couple putts. You end up hoisting the trophy. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Oh, by the way, let's hear from Bryson DeChambeau on how it feels to win his second U.S. Open.
I'm so happy I got that shot up and down on 18. Oh, man. I didn't want to finish second again. PGA really stung. Xander played magnificent. I wanted to get this one done, especially at such a special place that means so much to me and SMU and my dad, what pain meant to him. 1000th USGA championship. I mean, just stack them on top. That bunker shot was the shot of my life. And I'll forever be thankful that I've got longer wedges. I don't know what to think. It fully hasn't sunk in yet, but I just want everybody to enjoy it as well.
Pretty happy. You're allowed to be happy after winning the U.S. Open.
Bryson DeChambeau, ACC legend.
SMU ACC legend. Very strong. The one thing I will say about Bryson is he is polarizing, right? Seems to be a love him or hate him guy. When you win the U.S. Open, I do think you get like a week of whatever, right? A week of be overexcited, kind of be on top of the world, be on cloud nine before anyone becomes annoyed with you. For that purpose. You can be annoyed with him for other reasons. But for that purpose, he's allowed to just be happy. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Stanley Cup Finals. Raise your hand if you saw Game 4 happening the way it happened. Now, everybody raising your hands, you're a liar. Edmonton 8, Florida 1. Panthers tried to give up a series worth of goals in one game. Maybe that's the strategy, right? Like, you're only going to be able to score, some 18 goals in a series. Maybe let's put 8 of them. Maybe not even that much. 15 goals in a series. Let's put 8 of them in one game and just win the rest. The Panthers lead the series 3-1. You want to know what's crazy? Panthers lead 3-1. Scoring differential, even. Both teams have scored 12 goals in the series. One has won 3 games off of it. The other has won 1 game off of it. Here's what game 4 shows me. One, when you have a 3-0 lead, if you want to sweep, you're going to play the best game that you've played in game 4 because the other team's going to throw their best shot at you. And if you're not prepared to step your game up in the same way that desperation will step the game up of the others, you just don't have a chance. We actually saw that in both the Stanley Cup and NBA Finals over the weekend. But also, I look at it a bit, I'll put it in the Canes' perspective. There's a reason why the Canes built their team in the way they do. Offense can win you a game. And Edmonton, with that offense, they can go bananas on any given day. 4 points from Connor McDavid. That can catch you with a punch in the mouth at any point in time. There's Chris Knobloch, Oilers head coach, on where McDavid's performance ranks.
Well, very high, just because of what was at stake. You're an elimination game here in the final. Yeah, he just continues to impress everyone. Quite a night for him to set the record, and we're obviously very happy for him to be part of that. But he just keeps on making plays and scoring goals, making assists, whatever. But it was a great performance.
4 points from McDavid, that can catch you. And offense can win any game. I do think a more complete game, and particularly a complete game led by defense, is more likely what wins you the series. If I'm the Panthers, that is my mindset. Like if I'm the Florida Panthers, and this is kind of the way I would think about it if I were the Canes right after regrouping and playing a regular season next year. Like if you can do what Edmonton did in Game 4 3 more times, go for it, right? If you can do that 3 more times, I will tip my cap to you and say you're the best offensive team I've ever seen. Connor McDavid, you are a Greek myth. But I think what's more likely to happen is Florida's defense can regroup and lock him down 1 more time. Connor McDavid was asked if 8 goals in Game 4 mean anything for future games.
No, I don't think so. It's just 1 win. That's all it is. Doesn't matter if you score 8 or you score 1. It's just 1 win, and we got to go to Florida and do a job and drag them back to Alberta.
I look at it and say this. You scored 8 on us. That's 1 game. We're going to be here, right? I think the first period of Game 5, if I am the Panthers, would be the most physical period that I've played all season. If I'm, and by the way, like I said, the Panthers play the same system as the Canes. This is exactly what I'd be saying to the Canes. Right? I love like when Jake Gensel was there, Jake Gensel finesse move. I love Martin Necas's speed. I'd be going, First period, Game 5, I want Svetch putting people into the boards. Right? I want Brent Burns out there being the lumberjack that he is. I want the big guys laying the wood. And if I'm the Panthers, that's all I'm thinking, right? Like it's the same mentality in any sport. Right? I'll use the baseball game that's going on, by the way. Florida 5, NC State 4, top of the 6th. Florida's at the plate, 2 outs. Florida put up a four runs in the what was that, the second?
Yeah.
State came back, got 2 in the third? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, right? Like you want to immediately let them know that you're not knocked out, that was a big punch and it did nothing to me. Think about it like a boxer. This might be the best analogy, right? You see this occasionally, like street fight style, the street fight videos that pop up on your social media even though you don't like them. Somebody will get punched in the face and look back smiling like that's all you got. That's what Game 5 is about for the Florida Panthers. You scored 8. Awesome. Can you do it again? Because I'm right here, same spot, ready to fight.
To me, essentially, the Panthers have to go out there and win the first 5 minutes.
Just be more physical. Like you give up a fluke goal, who cares? You just have to make it very, very obvious that you're not intimidated by 8 goals being given up. By the way, was that a crazy catch that I just missed?
Yeah, NC State's right fielder just made one spectacular catch. On the warning track, diving for it. He might have even been looking from behind.
All right, let's see this. Line drive back to the warning track, right
He's
field.
looking over his shoulder. Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Were there runners on base there? That might be one of those plays you look back on. Everybody's giving him his due coming off the field. Right fielder for NC State may have just made a play that saved their season. Elimination game between NC State and Florida going on as we speak. Middle of the 6th, NC State coming up. We'll keep you updated, and we'll hit you with football at 4 coming up next.
Hi, this is Renee Chu. The most trusted local news in the Triangle is now on the radio, WRL News Plus. Now get breaking news and severe weather reports on the radio 24 hours a day. Listen on the radio at 96.5 FM in Durham, 99.3 FM in Raleigh, and everywhere in the Triangle at 101.5 HD3.
Hey, it's Victoria with 99.9 The Fan for Men's Health Month, and today I'm joined with Dr. Chad Greer from Wake Orthopedics. We are talking regenerative orthopedics today. Now, Dr. Greer, what are the benefits of PRP therapy?
So PRP is taking your own body's healing properties and putting them into an area that needs healing. So when you have a tendonitis or you have mild arthritis and your body has just not repaired that area, we're taking your own body's healing properties and putting them into that area in a concentrated form to allow your body to heal itself. And so you can see PRP is very useful for really any age group. So anywhere from your young athletes to your weekend warriors, we all get injuries. And you'll even see your high-profile athletes such as Tiger Woods have this type of intervention.
Wow.
But it's a way for your body to heal itself.
Wow, well, that's very useful and good information to know. If you'd like more information or to schedule an appointment with Dr. Greer, visit wakemed.org.
Whether it's expanding your business, upgrading your equipment, or covering payroll, you can score big with swishfunding.com, the slam dunk solution for your business funding needs. If you have at least $25,000 in monthly revenue and been in business for at least 1 year, qualifying's easier than a layup. We fund up to $5 million in 24 hours. Go to swishradio.com. That's SWISH radio.com. swishradio.com.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Bluebell is known for flavors that push the boundaries of taste. Our oatmeal cream pie ice cream is an oatmeal-flavored ice cream with hints of brown sugar mixed with soft oatmeal cookies and a vanilla icing swirl. We've set the bar sky high for deliciousness.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream available at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
It's bow time. Listen up, because we've got some big news to share. You might want to sit down for this. Bo Sauce is back at Bojangles. If you think you missed it, just imagine how our Supremes must have felt. Because there's no better sauce to pair with our crispy golden chicken Supremes. They're already boldly seasoned to perfection, but add Bo Sauce and you can taste a truly legendary combination that will make you want to yell, "It's Bo time." So don't wait. Grab a Supreme and dip into some Bo Sauce. It's Bo time.
There's no time like Bo time. Time to stop whatever you're doing to satisfy your craving for flavor with a Bojangles Chicken Supremes dinner. Choose a 3-piece or 4-piece Supremes dinner. Get your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea. And don't forget the sauce for dipping, because Bo Sauce is back. That's right, Bo Sauce is back. Hungry for flavor and value and love the Bo Sauce? Then it's Bo time.
Sanja loves to bathe, but her feet, they were throbbing. Then one day, I found a solution. Arch supports from the Good Feet store. Have foot pain? Good Feet could help.
You too can live the life you love with arch supports from the Good Feet store.
This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. It's a hot afternoon. We'll see a high of 90 degrees under mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies, but our humidity stays fairly low like it did yesterday. Tomorrow morning, relatively comfortable. We'll see temperatures in the upper 60s, and again, the humidity stays low. 92 tomorrow under mostly sunny skies.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones still up at 191 points at 38,780.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. One more reminder, we will keep you updated with periodic updates. That's score announcements. I don't like using updates twice in that sentence. But NC State and Florida taking place in the Men's College Baseball World Series elimination game. Bottom of the 6th now, Florida 5, NC State 4, 1 out, 1 runner on. NC State at the plate. It's also time for football at 4, and that's where we jump into it with one of our favorite cliches, right? Everybody works hard when someone's watching. What you are is what you do when nobody's watching. The Panthers wrapped up. They ramped up and then wrapped up. Mandatory minicamp, right? Those mandatory offseason practices where the whole team is there, and if you're not there, you get fined. Mandatory minicamp wrapped up. And now they enter one of the longest complete breaks of the year. 5 weeks at home. 5 weeks. Your boss doesn't get to watch you. Coaches don't get to watch you. It's 5 weeks away. Now, everyone works when the coaches are watching, right? Everyone works when their position coach is right up in their grill. Right? Everyone works when coach says everyone at the facility by 6 a.m. We're going to have practice at this time, meetings at this time. You're going to do all that. Who adds something to their toolbox when everyone else is on vacation? You hear about this a lot in the NBA, right? You hear about somebody adding a post game, somebody adding a face-up game, someone extending their shot distance, right, their range. You hear about this a lot in the NBA, where even the best players of all time, right, Jordan late in his career, Kobe late in his career, Kevin Durant late in his career, LeBron late in their career, will take the 6 weeks that they have in the offseason and add something else. They'll go work with Hakeem Olajuwon for post play. come back, and suddenly they're comfortable with their back to the basket. And it's like, where did this come from? Jason Kidd was that way. The notorious workers kept working every offseason. Let me guess that they didn't add all of that to their repertoire when they were in organized team activities. They added all of that to their repertoire when they were by themselves, when they were fanatical about it. Who adds something to their toolbox when everyone is on vacation? We keep talking about the Panthers needing to make up ground on everyone else. They need to find value in the margins. If the Panthers just get better at the same rate that everyone else gets better, they're going to be the worst team in the NFL this year. They have to get better at a more increased rate than everyone else in the NFL. They have to make up ground. Every time everyone else takes a day off, the Panthers should be making up just 1%. They don't have the luxury of days off yet. Right? If Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes want to go play in fantasy for dynasty golf events, sure. If the Panthers want to do that, your day better start with a workout and some film prior to heading to the golf event. There are no days off. The other thing we're going to get to see, or actually they're going to get to see, meaning the Panthers team, is how well does Bryce Young really know Dave Canales' offense? Right? Because that's what we've been hearing. Oh, he picks it up quick. Oh, he's a savant. Oh, he's a genius. Oh, he's got the offense down already. The most impressive thing is that he's already picked it up, right? He looks at it, makes a mistake once, and he doesn't make it again. How well does he really know Dave Canales' offense? Because guess what's going to happen? It happens every year. It happens with every team. During this break, the quarterback is going to pick a location. Sometimes it's where he went to college. Sometimes it's where he grew up. Sometimes it's a place that he just likes to be. And he invites all the wide receivers. He invites all the tight ends and the pass-catching backs and maybe even the center, and he gets everybody together, and they do a little pass camp. Some legendary pass camps you may remember. There was Jets West when Mark Sanchez used to take all the Jets out to California. There was, right here in the Triangle, Eli and Peyton used to take their 3 best wide receivers, go visit David Cutcliffe at Duke, and they would do the whole thing. And there was one year where it was like ridiculously stacked, right? It was like Cruz was there. I forget who the 2 other Giants receivers were, but they were really good. And then it was the Denver, probably Decker, Demaryius Thomas, and Welker. Like they had just a bananas good group. Like those events take place. So Bryce Young is going to do that. I think Andy Dalton even did it last year. But Bryce Young is going to do that. Maybe he takes him to California. Maybe he takes him to Alabama. He's going to call up Xavier Legette. He's going to call up Deontay Johnson. He's going to call up Jatavian Sanders. He's going to call up Adam Thielen. And he's going to say, hey, I'm booking the flights. I just got $30-something million a couple of years ago. I'm paying for the rooms, the hotels. I'm picking up the first dinner. We're going to have a good time. We're going to work hard. And we're going to get on the same page. And they're going to be running Dave Canales' offense, right? When they're out there running routes, it's going to be as if they're in Dave Canales' playbook. All right, 3rd and 6, we call this play, run that outside slant. And Bryce Young's going to have to be the one correcting them. Actually, when we run this play on 3rd and 6, I want you to tilt it up a little bit to make sure you get first down yardage on the catch. He's going to have to be that leader, which everyone keeps talking about is great, and he's going to have to be that computer that completely has already analyzed and knows the offense like the back of his hand. So you're going to have to do both of those things. There can't be any, hey, when we run this route, do you want us to do it like this or like that? Hold on, let me check with coach. There can't be any of that.
It's kind of like what we were talking about last week, or you mentioned last week. This is an area where you can see Bryce Young's leadership grow this season, as far as getting his offensive guys together and going over the playbook or going over film or just getting practice reps when nobody's watching.
It's the bare minimum, right? There are certain things that are seen as above and beyond that really aren't above and beyond, right? It's kind of like when something is voluntary, like, you know what? If you're trying to make the team, it's not voluntary. It's mandatory for you. These things, when every single team's quarterback or quarterbacks are throwing one of these events, it's like, yeah, it could be great leadership. It's also just what's expected now, right? I remember when I was playing in college, my freshman year, the starter at the time, quarterback, was getting together with the offensive line to watch film. He was saying, like, hey, when are you guys watching film? I want to be there. And it was seen as like this big, dramatic leadership thing, right? He wants to be down there with the big guys. By the time I left, just about every offensive line meeting room included all of the quarterbacks. It like no longer was above and beyond. It just was, well, when they're doing it, we're doing it. It wasn't impressive anymore. When the first guy started doing it, it was impressive. It was like, ooh, no one thought to do that. And he was a transfer from Penn State, so we were all like, that must be how they do it at Penn State. That must be how they do it in the Power Five. By the time he left, it was like the offensive line had a group chat with all the quarterbacks, and it was just, hey, we're going to watch film at 6. All 3 quarterbacks would show up at 6, and we'd all watch, and we'd all joke, and it was no longer new. That's what these passing events have become. Right? At the early onset of them, when the Mannings were bringing people to Duke, it did feel kind of like, wow, the Mannings are so dedicated. Wow, they're such great leaders. That's why they are who they are. Now, like, I guarantee you, Geno Smith, Baker Mayfield, like Daniel Jones, like fringe starters that didn't have a firm grasp on their job like 18 months ago are now getting everyone together. If you want to be a great leader in the offseason, you got to, I don't know, make a pilgrimage to each guy's hometown and work with them there. You got to be at all their hometown youth camps. Like, if you want to be a great leader, you got to go above and beyond. This is the bare minimum for Bryce Young's leadership. The thing that I'm interested in is how well does he know the playbook when Coach Canales is not around? Because, again, I'll use my college experience, which is not the same. But my freshman year, wide receiver asks me, I used to keep my bindered playbook with me out there for 7-on-7. It would be right where the center would be. So if somebody says, hey, how deep is that route? If I wasn't 100% serious, I'd be licking my thumb, flipping through pages. Coach wants it at 14 yards. By my senior year, I'd be like, Coach wants it at 14, but if you break it at 12, that's fine. I'm going to be there early anyway. That's where I want Bryce Young to be. And I'm not saying I was this whatever. Bryce Young is much more of a football mind than I ever was. But I'm just saying the way you talk about it is the way that everyone else is going to pick up on the confidence. So I guess that is a little bit of leadership. Going above and beyond is knowing the playbook frontwards and backwards before you get there, not just having the event. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have our podium to get to, which is about all the crazy surprises this weekend. NBA Finals. Speaking of leadership, I'll give you leadership from an NBA rookie to one of the best players in the NBA. That story blew my mind over the weekend. That and more coming up next. Stick around.
Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free. I'm talking no credit cards, no car loan, no personal loan. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Your home value, it's way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money out for that home improvement project you've been wanting to get done. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760. 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. 919-381-1760. NMLS 166171. Subject to lender approval. Equal housing lender.
If you love baseball as much as we do, play ball! Then you'll want to tune into 99.9 The Fan on Sunday nights this summer.
This one way back to left. Forget about it. It's gone.
Atlanta to Philly, St. Louis to L.A. Major League Baseball's best matchups will come to life.
Ground ball diving stop at third by Turner from his knees. He throws on to first and gets him.
Sunday Night Baseball on 99.9 The Fan is presented by Norse Brewing Company and by Baker Roofing.
Hey, y'all. Happy summer from Oak City Customs. We have a lot of cool things happening, including new offerings on custom sun sails, pergolas, outdoor tables and furnishings, raised garden beds, and so much more. All fully customizable and available in any size. We also are now hosting official shop tours for you to experience this unique fabrication process in person. Come visit us or check us out further at oakcitycustoms.com. We look forward to meeting you.
Our state's future begins with our students. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery has contributed over $10 billion to education. Through scholarships, school construction, support staff, and pre-K programs, lottery dollars move our state forward, helping students become the best versions of themselves. Visit movingncstudentsforward.com and share how your student or school community has benefited for a chance to earn $2,000 for your story. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline 877-718-5543.
A torn ACL, stress fracture, aching back, a hip that's had it, life on hold, and all you want is to get it back. Enter Wake Orthopedics. Our fellowship-trained orthopedists do it all. General, sports, pediatric, joint replacement, fractures, spine, prevention, advanced diagnostics, progressive treatments, minimally invasive procedures, surgeries, and more. Visit wakemed.org/wakeortho and get back your life.
Dear McDonald's, your breakfast menu? Fire. 10s across the board. I could be happy with anything, even though I ordered the same thing every time. Thanks for not judging me. I'll try something new next time. Maybe.
Hey, you love what you love. So save on your faves, like a sausage McMuffin with egg or bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddles for just $2.50.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
The Honda you want is here. Now's the perfect time to drive in the moment with the rugged and capable Ridgeline, Passport, and Pilot. Find your adventure with great offers now available on the Honda you want. And when you're driving a Honda, you're driving the brand named Kelly Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value Brand for 2023.
Contact your local Carolina Honda dealer for a great deal today.
See dealer for financing details based on 2023 brand image awards from Kelly Blue Book. Visit KBB.com for more information.
Get bonus days to save during Window Nation's semi-annual sale now through June 30th. Get 50% off all windows along with no interest for 5 years, plus a bonus 10% savings when you schedule an estimate. If your inefficient windows are costing you too much for air conditioning, that's a big deal. Now during Window Nation's semi-annual sale, you can replace them and save a big deal too. Offer ends June 30th, so schedule your in-home estimate now. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
No one knows the importance of a great assist more than Lowe's and Leo Messi. That's why we've teamed up to give MVP's Pro Rewards members 10 times the points when Messi makes an assist during CONMEBOL Copa America USA 2024. Activate this offer starting June 20th, so when Messi assists, you score. Shop the day after an assist to earn those extra points. Not an MVP's Pro Rewards member? Join today.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. NC State's getting to crunch time, everybody. Bottom of the 7th, 1 out, 1 on. NC State at the plate. They trail Florida 5-4. This is the College Baseball World Series. If State loses, they're going home. So down to their last, couple of handfuls of outs here, and it's getting there. It's just getting there. That's all I'm saying. Who's going to make a play? The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The other thing it's time for, other than time for someone to make a play, it's time for the podium. There we go. Get the march-in music. I like this. So the podium for this week, during the summer, we get a little bit creative with it. This past weekend felt like, if you pay attention to sports, if you weren't, too busy doing Father's Day activities, if you weren't too busy at the pool, if you were paying attention to sports, it felt like there was a lot of like, oh my gosh, really? Actually, maybe even better if you weren't paying attention to sports and you just bumped into someone that said, like, oh, my gosh, did you see? You'd be like, no, that didn't happen. Have to check your phone. Really? So we thought we would rank the biggest surprises of the weekend. All right? I'll give mine, then, Graham, you give yours. Fair?
Works for me.
Works for you. All right. My bronze medalist, biggest surprise of the weekend, was the Mavericks absolutely destroying Boston in Game 4. Nothing makes you feel more foolish than I think Boston's going to close them out. I think this one's going to be the end. And then it's over like early. There are times, hate to admit it, there are times where I don't tune into games till about halftime, right? Just out of pure, like, I have to have a life outside sports and I watch sports nonstop. This was one where I checked in early and then went, all right, I got to go back and watch how this happened. How did we get here? Because that was absolutely unreal. Luka played great at the beginning. Luka didn't even play the fourth. Kyrie played great. Kyrie was out early. If you watched just the fourth quarter, you would have thought it was like, have you ever played, this is actually appropriate with the college football video game coming out. Have you ever played a dynasty so far into the future that all of the players are just made-up players?
Yep.
That's what the fourth quarter felt like. It was like there was Hauser running around for Boston. Everybody else were the guys on the bench that never play. Felt like we were in the part of the dynasty where it was all computer-generated names. It's like, what is going on here? My silver, Edmonton scoring 8 in Game 4 versus Florida after they scored 4 in the first 3 games combined. Then they doubled it up in Game 4 alone. That's not ideal. And then my gold, Rory missing that putt on 18. It takes a lot. I started this segment with, I watched a lot of sports. I played a lot of sports. I've been involved in a lot of sports. Actually, on Saturday, coached my first game.
Congratulations.
It was 3 to 6-year-old soccer, which feels like a wide gap. That feels like a big age group. My son is 3 years old. He's out there trying to score when we got a 6-year-old on the team. The 6-year-old is flying around. But that's neither here nor there. I've now coached in a game. I watched 1 billion games, played in 1 billion games. It takes a lot for me to audibly go like, oh, no.
Yeah.
When Rory missed that putt on 18, I, like, hands on head, what just happened? Like, that reaction was completely and totally against my will. So that's my gold for biggest surprise of the weekend. Graham, what do you have?
So ours are kind of similar. I just have them in different order. I'm going to start off with my bronze, and I know to Carolina fans, they're not really going to be expecting this, but I mean, you had it as one of your bold predictions, and I didn't even think it was going to happen. Vance Honeycutt walks it off against UVA in the College World Series. I mean, it always seems like he strikes when he's most needed so far this postseason. As you remember,
A walk-off's always surprising.
Yeah, especially at this point in the stage, or the biggest stage of the college baseball season. They got to remember the 2-out, 2-run walk-off home run to lead North Carolina to an 8-6 win over West Virginia in Game 1 of the 2024 Chapel Hill Super Regional. Then hit a home run on the very first pitch of Game 2 to help the Tar Heels secure that 2-1 win over West Virginia to get them to the College World Series. And then in Game 1 against Virginia on Friday, his single brought home Jackson Van Der Break from third with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. UNC pulled out another win out of their hats in its last at-bat for a 3-2 walk-off victory. And it's surprising to me because Vance Honeycutt's just automatic with the walk-offs.
Vance Honeycutt is automatic in a lot of situations. I said this earlier, but for UNC tomorrow, it needs to be Vance Honeycutt and. That's the challenge for UNC is to fill in the blank. Vance Honeycutt and blank will have a big game tomorrow. Vance Honeycutt, that's the standard. The blank, the Mad Libs, is where they need to figure it out. Who do you have for silver?
Sorry, I got called up. Yep. Florida gets out of the end. There was 2 runners on base for NC State, and a strikeout just happened for Luke Nixon, so that retires the order.
So they'll be heading to the 8th inning with Florida ahead 5-4 over NC State. Florida next at the plate.
My silver, just like you, except this my silver, Dallas Mavericks. I mean, I was not really expecting that, and also I was not expecting this 38-point final margin to be the third biggest ever in the NBA Finals behind Chicago beating Utah 96-54 and 98.
There's a story behind that win, behind the Dallas win that I'm going to tell in a second here that I absolutely love. Keep going.
The Celtics beating the Lakers 131-92. So just to give you some reference at some of the big blowout margins that have happened in previous NBA Finals. And again, yeah, some of the guys that they were putting in for the fourth quarter, I was like, he's on the Mavericks?
Yep.
I've never heard of some of these guys.
Who's your gold?
Gold, Bryson DeChambeau. I mean, how is it not? I know you said
the flip side of it. I said Rory missing the putt. You could easily say Bryson, specifically that bunker shot on 18.
Tim will tell you guys, we did not pre-plan this. It's not like we were sitting in our cubicles going, all right, you're going to go with Rory missing the putt. I'm going to go with Bryson winning. I mean, just what he was able to accomplish in the final, really just on the 18th hole, best shot of his life to cap off a huge week of high entertainment by going up and down from 55 yards out of a bunker, making the 4-foot par to close
and that
1
drive,
over 71. Yeah,
that drive was equally surprisingly bad. He went way left off the tee because Rory had just gone left, and I was like, all right, Rory's, and he missed the putt. I was like, all right, Rory's going to have a chance here if Bryson goes just as far left. And he went further left and still got out into the bunker, up and down. Unbelievable. I think Bryson afterwards said he had about a 1.5. He gave himself like a 1.5 or 2% chance to get up and down out of that bunker.
And obviously the putt was not as famous as Payne Stewart in 1999 when that was a 15-foot par putt, but it's equally as exciting.
Yeah, Payne. I mean, Payne he's untouchable at Pinehurst. And even though they're bringing the tournament back more often, I don't care. Nobody's going to want up Payne Stewart. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the Podium. Biggest surprises of the weekend. Graham and I mostly in agreement. Some subtle changes. But I do want to dive further into that NBA Finals game. 122 for Dallas, 84 for Boston. Here's the story that I've been teasing. Derek Lively, Duke, one and done, now a rookie on the Mavericks, after the game, was asked about the prep or whatever, and he said he told Luka, right, because he's like, Luka listens to us. Luka, by the way, doesn't have to listen to anybody, okay? There's this like, epidemic might not be the right word, but there's this trend right now of former college basketball or former NBA basketball players hosting podcasts. And the one thing it does, right, because I don't know if they're the best podcast in the world, but I listen to them to get stories. Because the one thing every middle-of-the-road NBA player has is the stories of playing with whatever legend they played with, right? Maybe they were on the Thunder with Westbrook and Durant. Maybe they were on the Heat with Wade. Maybe they played with Chris Paul. And they all have their pocket of stories that they break out. It's like when they're at a happy hour, a wedding or something, and somebody just says, what was it like to play with Shaq? What was it like to play with Allen Iverson? What was it like to play with Kobe? And they're like, bada boom, bada bang, got my well-rehearsed story that I've told 1,000 times. Here it is. And so I've heard a ton of stories about NBA greats. And the one thing you learn in all these stories is the rules that apply to everybody don't apply to the NBA greats. If people get fined for showing up late to the plane, the star doesn't get fined. The plane just waits. If everybody has to be at team meal for chicken and pasta because that's what they decided is best, he can eat sushi. Like they just don't apply. So Luka does not have to listen to Derek Lively, right? Luka is a MVP candidate, 5-time All-NBA player, like best of the best. Derek Lively is a rookie, late lottery pick that doesn't even start. And Derek Lively was like, no, Luka listens to us. I told him, just don't complain after the 2 first foul calls against you. Right? The 2 first times a ref blows his whistle against you, just don't complain about it. And I'm not saying that is the reason. I'm not saying that's the reason why everything changed for Dallas. But I love that. Love it. Dallas, ready? They won that game so badly in Game 4, so dominantly. I don't even know if that's a word. They dominated that game so greatly that they are now actually outscoring the Celtics. They have scored 408 points in that game, or in that series. The Celtics have scored 402. The Celtics lead the series 3-1, but that's how much the Dallas Mavericks dominated Game 4. 62 points between Luka and Kyrie, and they were pulled so early in that second half.
Yeah.
That is that is the lesson Luka needs to learn. I'm not saying you don't show fiery passion. I'm not saying if you think the refs made a bad call, you don't let them know. But I love that Derek Lively was like, just the first two. Just set the tone, right? The first two, when the refs call a foul against you, don't whine, hustle back on defense or hustle back to get into another position on the floor, whatever it is. Just the first couple times, it might change everything. And then the fact that Luka didn't go, get out of here, rookie. He went like, all right. I love that. Is this series over? Yes, the series is still over. It doesn't change anything. But that game just makes it more frustrating for Dallas moving forward because you know if you play your best, you can hang with Boston, even dominate them. You just didn't. Right? What does Game 4 prove except for games 1 through 3 shouldn't have gone that way? That's the frustrating part about a team playing so well with their backs against the wall. Because why weren't you playing with a backs against the wall mentality from the beginning? Right? When a team bows their neck after being down 3-0 to not get swept, doesn't part of you want to say, why didn't you bow your neck 3 games earlier?
Yeah.
I had these thoughts about the Canes. Canes go down 3-0 against the Rangers. Then all of a sudden they win back-to-back games. Then all of a sudden they have all this fire, and I'm going like, a little frustrating. Have to be honest with you.
I mean, the way that the Mavs were able to extend their margin of scoring by 13 at the end of the first quarter, 26 at halftime, and as many as 38 in the third quarter before
it was
the reserves
dominant
came in.
From start to finish.
I mean, Boss even said it, I think, after game 1, basketball is all about, is dictated by runs.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas had some of the best runs in that finals game that I've seen so far in the series.
Now, there's 2 points I want to make about this, and I'm going to try to do so quickly. The first is it wasn't just Dallas playing well. Boston also played tight. Jason Tatum, their best player, on putting too much pressure on them. Here's Jason Tatum on putting too much pressure on themselves.
Seems that news boss is frozen on me.
All right, well,
there we go.
We came out and expected that we were just going to roll over them and win. I firmly believe we had the right intentions. We wanted to win. We wanted to play the right way. But I think we maybe put like too much pressure on ourselves of that moment to be perfect or think it was going to go how we wanted it to go.
So part of it was Boston not playing well, and I want to acknowledge that. The other part of it is what I discussed, which is why didn't Dallas have that same kind of desperation and urgency in games 1 through 3? And for that, I have to ask about the other Duke player. Is that a Kyrie thing? Because there is a role on every team of the guy that's been there before, right? If the Canes were to win it all, guess who they would get the credit for being the guys that led the way? It would be Stahl. It would have been Gensel. It would have been Kuznetsov. It would have been these guys. It would have been Rod. These guys that had been in those big moments and kept everybody locked in. On the Mavericks, Kyrie is the guy, at least to the main contributors, that's been there before. He's been in a finals, right? He's stared down that dragon, and he's won. Now, I'm not saying he was the leader of those teams, right? You would have guessed LeBron James would have been the leader on those Cavs teams that went to the finals, but Kyrie could have picked something up. He's the been there before, done that guy. Should he have making sure they were in the right mindset? Kyrie Irving did talk to the media, and he emphasized improving defensively.
I think for us, we wanted to make it very much more respectable than it has been in the past few games in terms of limiting our mistakes on the defensive end. You know, we've been one of the best teams in the league of getting stops, and that's been our identity. And we play better, I think, offensively, and it's just my opinion. I think it can vary across the team, but I think we play better offensively when we're getting stops and able to push the pace and, you know, get easy opportunities in transition, which we weren't doing the past few games as often. So it felt good to be on the positive end of seeing our hard work reward us, and especially on the defensive end.
That's important. The scheming, the X's and O's, the offense to defense, transition. Sometimes you also just got to like yell and scream and look them in the eyes and see if they're ready to play a playoff game. And if that's not in your bag, find out something else, right? Talk to them. Be emotional. Open up. I don't know. Figure out whatever your leadership style is. But, watching Game 4, it's impossible not to have the thought of, you're telling me this team couldn't win a game in the first 3? Not a single one. That's what you're telling me. And they're just kind of like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm telling you. And that just seems tough. It seems tough to deal with. With that being said, it's time for the Storm Tracker. We do this every single day at this time, 4:33. So that's what time it is. By the way, we'll update you quickly here on the Florida NC State middle of the 8th. So NC State coming up down 1, 5-4 college baseball World Series. So 6 more outs for the Wolfpack to find a way to get that run. Maybe 2. With that being said, the Storm Tracker, what we do every day at this time, is we look across the NHL, we look across Carolina specifically, we find the talking points, the buzz, the rumors, the discussions going on about the Carolina Hurricanes, and we bring them up right here. Graham, what are we talking about today?
It's not a latest mock draft, but it's another mock trade, and once again, Marty Natchez is involved with it. Could Marty Natchez be heading to Hockeytown? This report is according to Daily Faceoff insider Frank Saravella. Detroit is an interesting fit for Natchez. Detroit is no stranger to also making a big trade. Some of you might know last summer they pulled off a big deal with the Ottawa Senators as they acquired Alex DeBrincat from their Atlantic Division rival in exchange for 2 players and 2 draft picks. Natchez offers a different style of hockey than DeBrincat. He will also likely command a similar expensive contract as well.
Interesting. First of all, Martin Natchez has been brought up. I mean, it'd be easier. I'm not saying this is a bad rumor. It would be easier to bring up all of the places Martin Natchez hasn't been linked to than it would be to bring up all of the places he has been linked to.
Yeah. Storm Tracker might be tomorrow. These are the teams that have not been linked to Marty Natchez yet.
It'll be another team. It'll be San Jose. I don't know. Like I'm just that doesn't make any sense, but I'm just bringing it up. Martin Natchez for the Carolina Hurricanes, I think is starting to become the example I always use is Magic Beans. Like he can be anything and everything. Like if you think the Canes need a goaltender, you can turn Martin Natchez into a goaltender. If you think they need a second line center right-hand shot, you could turn him into a second-line center right-hand shot. If you think they need a defenseman to replace Shea and Pesce, Martin Natchez could be the defender. You could turn him into the defender to replace either Shea or Pesce. Like, it's getting to the point now where he's everything to everyone. This isn't going to end well.
Yeah.
The way I talk about it is, you might be too young for this as well. You remember the Seinfeld finale?
Yeah.
Okay. So Larry David, who is one of the co-creators of Seinfeld, talks about the Seinfeld finale, obvious with like a bit of being perturbed because he's Larry David and he's perturbed by everything. But I always think the problem with the finale of shows, the reason why Seinfeld was like unanimously praised through all whatever it was, 100 and some odd episodes, and then the last one was criticized so heavily. And my theory, and you can agree or disagree with this, is the finale is the only one where everybody writes it themselves ahead of time, right? Most times when you were watching Seinfeld, you just turned on Seinfeld and you went, I wonder what they have for me this week. But when you knew it was the finale, everybody wrote it in their own brains. They went, oh, I really hope that Kramer and Newman get to end up doing blah, 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 blah. And I really hope that Jerry and Elaine finally get together. And I really hope that George, actually becomes an architect. And it's like everybody writes their own thing. And somebody else might say, gosh, I hope Jerry and Elaine don't get together. And, oh, I hope George stays the klutzy schlub that he was. Like everybody wrote their own thing. And guess what? There's no way like Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld were going to write the exact version that you wrote in your head that you thought was perfect. Now, most Seinfelds, you just tune in and you go, oh, I like that. The finale, you look at it and you go, oh, man, you're telling me Jerry and Elaine didn't get together? Boo. They didn't get together in the first 100 and whatever many episodes, but now you're fine with it. Martine Necas is getting that way where normally, right, you're just paying attention. Maybe you're watching. And it's like breaking news. Maybe you're listening to this show where it's like breaking news. They traded Martine Necas for blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, oh, I like that trade. But with how long it's been going on, everybody has their own perfect trade. Maybe they can go back and get the Pedersen deal done, which they can't, but maybe they could. Maybe they could bring in Olmark. Maybe you're all about picks and you're like, could we get 2 firsts for Martine Necas? Like, there's so many, Caulfield and this team and that team, and what could they offer and what could they offer? Heck, some of these teams might not even be interested, but in our brains, we're like the absolutely perfect trading partner is blah, blah, blah. And they're not even interested. But now if that trade doesn't happen, when the trade does happen with whoever else is interested, we're going to be disappointed because we've talked ourselves into this other one over here. It's like it's become its own beast where it is the Martine Necas trade is becoming everything to everybody, right? And, you know, it's and I just use Seinfeld as the example, right? Sopranos, like all of these shows that just had really heavily scrutinized and criticized finales, but they're like the greatest shows of all time that everybody loved. It's like, well, just make sure you consume the finale like you consumed all the other shows and you'll be fine. It's when you start expecting your own expectations to be taken care of that you get down that dangerous wormhole.
So it's interesting you bring up that analogy of the season finale of Seinfeld and everybody writing what they want the finale to be like.
Yep.
In this report, it says he plays a style of hockey that the Red Wings need. Here's the only thing that I'm asking myself. What is that style? Is it him remain a winger, or is it him? Do the Red Wings need a center? And they're just going to let Marty Necas, maybe that's how they get him to come. They're like, hey, you've been wanting to play center for so long now. We got that position for you. Go ahead. Let's try it out.
Yeah, all we know is the system that he plays is the style that he plays is not the Kane style.
Yeah.
So, hey, if you're not going to ask him to play much defense, Martine Necas is your guy. If you just need him to fly around and try to score as many goals as possible, he might give you 70 points. It is just, you know, Detroit, Boston, Vancouver, Chicago. Like, we've heard all of these. Only one of the trades can happen, right? It's there. He's not going to bring in a top-level defenseman and a second-line center and a goalie and prospects and picks. Like, it's not going to happen. So there's a whole bunch of people that are going to be disappointed. You see the same thing, by the way, when a team changes their name, right? Like when Washington was changing their name from the old team to football team and then from football team to Commanders. You saw everybody had their perfect example. Wolves, I think it should be the Hogs. I think it should be the Commanders. I think it should be the Generals. I think it should be the Monuments. I think it should be the this. It's like, uh-oh. Can't make everybody happy. Most people are going to be really upset. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly. I want to tell you about my partners at Window Nation. Window Nation wants to just talk. Right, that's the deal. They want to have a free, no obligation consultation. Okay, they'll come into your house, they'll look at your windows, and they'll show you what their windows can do that your current windows are not doing. Window Nation, right? They did this for us, by the way. They came into my house and talked to my wife and I, and they showed how their materials are better, how their glass is better, how their plastics are like all of it is better. And what do I mean by better? I mean it keeps your energy inside. The air that you are paying to heat and cool inside your house, and keep in mind, it's about to be 1 billion trillion degrees outside in North Carolina. When you are cooling the air in your house, you want to keep that air inside so you're not paying to cool that outside air. They can show you with heat lamps and everything else exactly what's going on with your windows. It makes it so much more tangible. Right? It's not just them saying, oh, you need new windows. It's them saying, let me show you why you need new windows. It's a more trusting experience. It's all happening at Window Nation. And if you do end up buying their windows, the semi-annual sale has been extended. 50% off all window styles. So think about the money, the savings, right? You're going to save on your energy bill, the cost of your house, the value of your house is going to go up, and you're getting them all 50% off all window styles, plus 0% interest for 5 years, and an additional bonus if you schedule an appointment this week. An additional bonus on top of all that if you schedule an appointment this week. To schedule the appointment, give them a call, 866-90-NATION. That's 866-90-NATION, or visit windownation.com to schedule. That is windownation.com. Schedule now for that additional bonus. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the Canes still don't have a GM. At this point, I'm only half joking. Do they need one? Stick around.
We're jamming your June with championships. The NBA Finals.
The Dallas Mavericks put down a 38-point beatdown on the Boston Celtics.
The Stanley Cup Finals.
McDavid the other way, scores! This one can't end soon enough for the Florida Panthers.
The U.S. Open.
And strokes the putt up the hill, into the middle. 2 times a U.S. Open champion, Bryson DeChambeau.
Catch every winning moment with us. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Houston, permission to detach boosters.
Negative, Commander. You're off course for the moon. Sensors show something massive on board. Did you bring additional items?
Only the new loaded scratch-offs.
Those are loaded with $50, $100, $500, and $2,000 prizes. You're on a trajectory towards Mars.
Nice. First person on Mars. Take that, billionaires.
New loaded scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Massive amounts of prizes. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.8 to 4.88. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Diamonds Direct has done it again. This month only, get ready for an offer you can't resist. Buy a natural diamond engagement ring of 1 carat plus and receive a free natural 1 carat diamond tennis bracelet valued at $2,000. That's right, a stunning diamond tennis bracelet at no extra cost. Imagine giving her the ring of her dreams and her wedding gift all at once. So hurry into Diamonds Direct. Your chance to get a free tennis bracelet will not last long. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
Hello, Creighton Blackwell here from Coastal Credit Union and 99.9 The Fan. Today, we are at Holly Springs High School, and we're here to celebrate the next Scholar Athlete of the Month, Emma Pankunis.
She's a really great teammate. She's always looking out for everybody on the team and is a great leader. She's willing to set up her teammates for success and just puts herself in the position to help everybody out, and it's been really cool.
Emma is all in. She has been since the first day I met her, her freshman year.
My community is everything to me. So being able to kind of reach out and get back in these different areas and to people that have had such a big impact on me is just something that's rewarding in itself. I'm someone who have always prioritized my academics, and athletically, once I set those goals for myself, it became a big priority in my life. So to be able to maintain what I want, have those goals set, makes it really easy to kind of focus on what's important. I've had so many people, not even just teammates, but throughout my club, throughout my high school experience, including my parents, that it's just everyone is pushing me to be as successful as I can be. And when I have so many people that are driving me and trying to keep me on track, that it just makes it easy to do it myself. And it makes it so much easier where you're not also trying to be successful for myself, but I'm trying to be successful for those people as well.
Congratulations, Emma.
For over 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have recognized scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. That's AWARD to 919-860-5326.
Victoria Vodnecker from 99.9 The Fan here with Dr. Brenna Houlihan from Wake Med. She's here to educate us a little bit more on Men's Health Month. Now, people may not be aware of this, but the technical screening window for a colonoscopy's changed, right?
It has in the last couple of years. We're now really recommending it at 45.
Much earlier, right?
Yes, earlier than 50 that most people are used to. The other thing to keep in mind is that if you have a first-degree relative, meaning your parents or siblings that have had colon cancer, you actually need to do it 10 years before the age that they were diagnosed, or 40, whichever comes first. The day before, you do have to kind of purge out the system. So you have to do clear liquids. It makes us be able to see everything in the colon. But the day of the colonoscopy, you get some medication, you snooze, and before you know it, it's all over.
Well, definitely important to know, especially if you fit that bill. Thank you so much, Dr. Houlihan, for your information. If you have any more questions or want to find a provider local to you, visit wakemed.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Graham continues to be the oldest sold 25-year-old producer I've ever had.
You're welcome.
This sticks? Am I getting that right?
Close. I mean, same time era. Oreo Speedwagon.
I knew that. I knew that. I used to play this kind of music early in my career. I did a couple music radio stops, right? A little music during the day so I could do sports play-by-play at night. I played my REO Speedwagon, Phil.
You should come with me to their concert with Train on August 9th at Coastal Credit Music Park.
There it is. REO Speedwagon. That's funny. Update you on the baseball. NC State is down to last licks. State, Florida, elimination game, college baseball World Series. This is the stuff dreams are made of. Entering the bottom of the ninth, NC State at the plate, down 1, and they just got out of the top half of the inning. So that's what NC State is dealing with.
Whose time is it to shine now for NC State or for Pac-9 with a walk-off?
I mean, the thing is with baseball, and it's part of why I love baseball. And I'm not breaking news here. We're just talking about the game. In every other sport, you kind of get to choose who the game gets put on, right?
Right. You got to draw up a play.
You get to draw up a play, or you get to call timeout and substitute, right? Like you get to put the players you want. In baseball, it's whoever's up, right? That lineup card, I guess you could pinch hit, but there's just so much less control over it and so much more of whoever's time it is, it's your time, right? You just got to get up there and make it happen. So State will have the bottom half of the inning. We'll keep you updated. In the meantime, let me ask you this question. The Carolina Hurricanes don't have a permanent GM right now. They have Eric Tolsky as their interim GM, but they have not hired their GM since Don Waddell resigned now over 3 weeks ago. Could the Canes just go GM-less? Because here's the thing. We started like a counter on this show of how many days without a GM, and it was like 11. That's when we were doing the countdown. And it feels foolish to count. It's been 23 days. Right? To go from 10 days to 11 to 12, we're just not going to keep counting every day to 23. It has been 23 days, and it feels foolish to keep that counter running. But over the last 23 days, the Canes have done everything that you would expect them to need a GM to do. They've signed contracts. Jalen Chatfield, 3 years, $9 million. That's a good deal. They've gotten ready for a draft. The NHL draft is 11 days away. What's the point of a GM if you're comfortable doing all of that without a GM? That's usually the reason why I say they need to do this, they need to do that, is because these deadlines are coming up, right? The free agents, they need deals, and you need to get the GM in place so you can have those discussions. The draft is coming up. You want your GM in place a couple weeks before the draft. That's the timers that put things. If you're going to blow through those checkpoints without a GM, do you even need one?
I mean, this turned into, are the Carolina Hurricanes ever going to hire a GM or move Eric Tolsky from interim GM to the official general manager role to now? Who is it that's running things behind the scenes?
I mean, the only way I can think of it is they have the Knights of the Round Table that we've discussed, right? And who knows how many are there. I believe Tolsky's there. Tom Dundon is there.
Walt Ruff? No, I'm joking.
I hope so. Probably Rod Brindamore, a handful of others, couple others. If they're truly comfortable running this thing as a democracy, and they're comfortable acting on decisions that whatever group is making up that round table right now comes to. If they're confident in making those work, by the way, NC State opening strikeout. So they are now down to their last 2 outs of the College Baseball World Series against Florida. If the Canes are comfortable with the decision-making core they have right now making big decisions, do you need a GM? This is not a recommendation. I want that to be clear, but it is a question based on what they've done. It's a question. If you're comfortable doing this, if you're comfortable doing that, if you're comfortable getting ready for the draft, maybe there's no need for a GM. Right? It's every young worker's fear when you take a long vacation, right? You go on, have you ever taken a honeymoon or something, like a long vacation? The fear is always they're going to find out that they can do everything without me, right? Come back and they're like, you know what? Yeah, we think your job might be obsolete. We handled everything fine with you not here. Don Waddell, 23 days ago, left the GM job open. Eric Tulsky, who was the assistant GM, moved into the interim GM, but there's still an opening somewhere, a Don Waddell-sized hole in the room that they have not filled. If 23 days in, you're like, you know what, I haven't noticed. Maybe that job isn't as important as we thought. By the way, second strikeout for NC State. Tried to check swing, wasn't able to hold up. NC State is down to their final out, down 5-4, bottom of the ninth.
If this is one of those nights of the round tables just working together, I mean, yeah, you bring up a great point. They already checked one thing off the list. At least for me, one of the top priority players you need to bring back is defenseman Jalen Chatfield. Who's next?
It's that, or it's even deciding who is the priority. They've already done it, right? Because if you're bringing back Chatfield, does that mean it's less likely to bring back one of the other defensemen? No decision happens in a vacuum. Maybe they're just noticing, hey, I like the setup the way it is. We don't actually have to change anything. It would be different. It'd be going against the grain. It would be a unique structure. But this, I've dubbed it the offseason of change for the Carolina Hurricanes. This would be about as big a change as you can get.
If it's not broke, don't fix it? Question mark?
Or we had to change something from what we did in the past, so maybe this could be it. I don't know. And with that, NC State's baseball season comes to a close. It ends in Omaha. Fantastic season. But Florida outlasts NC State 5-4. And now they have to watch all those gaudy Gator chops from the opposing team stands. No easy transitions out of that one, but we'll do it. Tim Donnelly here for Gordon Miller and Miller Lending, home of the no-cost loan. We talk about it all the time when we're talking about Gordon Miller and Miller Lending. Timing is everything in a mortgage. Finding a mortgage, locking in a rate. Unfortunately, timing isn't always something that we can deal with. And sometimes waiting for the timing can drive you crazy, right? If you're like, oh, I'm gonna wait until rates drop. Oh, I'm gonna wait until rates drop. Oh, I'm gonna wait until rates drop. You might be waiting well past you could realistically wait, right? You're gonna pass that point of no return. So what should you do instead? How about you go to Gordon Miller and Miller Lending. You get the best rate you can right now on a no closing cost loan, so you're not bringing out of your pocket cash for all those costs and fees. And just to have a plan that if and when rates drop, which many people think they will, but if and when they do drop, you do it again. You refinance. You pay no costs and fees again. No money out of your pocket, and you get the lower rate. You get the lower rate. You do it as many times as you need. You lower your monthly rate. You lower your monthly payment, which is what we're all trying to do, and you do it as many times as you need. So the timing becomes less important than the planning, the flexibility, the adaptability that you get when you work with Miller Lending. The phone number to call, 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. That is millerlending.com. The starting five is coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, this is Renee Chu. The most trusted local news in the Triangle is now on the radio, WRL News Plus. Now get breaking news and severe weather reports on the radio 24 hours a day. Listen on the radio at 96.5 FM in Durham, 99.3 FM in Raleigh, and everywhere in the Triangle at 101.5 HD3.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Tar Heel Basement Systems. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at tarheelbasementsystems.com.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities, just all your friends, burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Grilling, better with Pepsi.
For a limited time, get 2 20-ounce Pepsis for only $4.25 at Refuel. So hurry in and enjoy an ice-cold Pepsi today.
If winning is part of your game plan this season, then it's time for a trip to Pure Hockey. We've got the newest inventory in sticks, skates, and more, arriving now through year-end. So it's time to gear up and unleash your potential. At Pure Hockey, you'll find the biggest selection for on and off the ice. You'll also experience industry-leading personalized skate fittings with the newest in advanced 3D scanning technology. Plus, our rewards program is unbeatable. Head to your Wake Forest Pure Hockey store plus 2 other nearby locations and start earning today. Pure Hockey, your ultimate hockey headquarters.
Gilbert worked in retail and restaurant management for 14 years. It was time for a change.
I recognized where I was at was vulnerable to the whims of the economy.
Then he heard about My Computer Career. Gilbert went for it.
In as little as 7 months, I got all of my certifications at a fraction of a cost for college.
He became an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
I can work from anywhere. I have more time for my family as well.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Our state's future begins with our students. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery has contributed over $10 billion to education. Through scholarships, school construction, support staff, and pre-K programs, lottery dollars move our state forward, helping students become the best versions of themselves. Visit movingncstudentsforward.com and share how your student or school community has benefited for a chance to earn $2,000 for your story. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline 877-718-5543.
Attention soccer fans. North Carolina FC invites you to be part of the excitement. Join us in our electrifying games with top-tier players, thrilling goals, and unforgettable moments. Experience the thrill of this beautiful game with North Carolina FC. Get your tickets now, northcarolinafc.com.
On average, people spend over a third of their life sleeping, yet most sleep disorders go undiagnosed.
I'm Megan Gigling, General Manager of Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sleep struggles left untreated can lead to health problems and have a serious effect on your quality of life. We've served the Triangle for 20 years. Let us help you get the sleep you've been dreaming of.
If you're in need of a sleep study, a knowledgeable doctor, CPAP machine, or supplies, Parkway has you covered. For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit parkwaysleep.com. Sound sleep, sound health.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback!
Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays with high pressure sitting right over us. Hard to get any thunderstorms to develop. It should remain dry this week and into the weekend. Tonight's low 69. Mostly sunny for your Tuesday. Is hotter, 92.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock hour of the drive brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to the Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones closes the day up 188 points at 38,778.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. On a Monday, thank you for starting your week with us this afternoon. As always, our starting five at 5 o'clock starts with number 5. Panthers mandatory minicamps, a thing of the past. Next up, a 5-week break. That is no joke. 5 weeks away from the team. Which, you know, I know it sounds like we're treating fully grown adults like children, but imagine what would happen. Like, let's say you have a job. Let's hope most of you have jobs out there. Something you do, something you enjoy doing, some career, I don't know, whatever. Everything included, including everybody. If you had a 5-week off, how much of that time are you spending thinking about your work?
Whew.
I think most people are probably like, I'm traveling, right? Most people are thinking, I'm going to see friends and family. Most people are thinking, I'm going to be at the beach. Most people are thinking, I'm going to finally build that patio out back that I've like. There's something you're filling that time with. Athletes are no different, which, by the way, like in season during the NFL season, if you're a quarterback, you're not working a 40-hour job. You're not 9 to 5 in it, right? You're in there before the sun's up, and you're leaving after the sun's down in a lot of cases. So you get this 5 weeks off. You are thinking, I wanted, got all this money. Let me enjoy it. I want to go see what France is like. I want to go see what a Caribbean island is like. But the tough part for the Panthers is, if that's what everyone's doing, that's not what you can be doing. Right? If some Bills, meaning Buffalo Bills, or some Bengals, or some Chiefs, I don't know why I'm picking all AFC teams. If some Niners want to go ahead and enjoy their time off, Panthers have to see that as that's times we can catch up on them.
Yeah, we got to take advantage.
Because we were the worst team in the NFL last year. And we brought in a bunch of new pieces that have to get to know each other very quickly. We have a new coach with a new offense. And we have a new number 1 wide receiver and a new rookie first-round wide receiver and a new rookie second-round running back and a new tight end in the 4th round. And we have a new this and 2 new offensive linemen. And we have new this and new that and new coaches and new this and new that and new GM. And all of that needs to be dealt with. Right? The time where you get to take that 5 weeks and go gallivant is after you're, have some stability. Been in the league for a while. Know what's going on. Know the offense. Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, they mind meld. Right? I know what you're thinking, Big Red. They have that going on. The Panthers don't. So, I talked about this earlier, but every team in the league, their quarterback is going to throw an event. Could be a long weekend. Some will do it for a week, where he gets his wide receivers and his pass catchers together, and they usually have morning workouts, and then afternoon they go to Topgolf, or morning workouts, then afternoon they go out to a nice dinner in the beach, right? And it becomes like a team building thing. If I'm Bryce Young, I'm trying to do it for 2 weeks. I'm recognizing that the Panthers are starting, right? Sports are equal, sports are fair, but everybody's not at the same page, right? The Panthers were the worst team in the NFL last year. They are inherently starting behind everybody at the starting line, right? It's a staggered start. It's like you ever watch what's it called? Amazing Race?
Yes.
Where sometimes there's these checkpoints where like they sleep and everything, but then they get started like by the time they get in, right? They come in and check in, and then they have to be there for 12 hours or whatever. So then everybody leaves. It's like, all right, the team that's in first leaves. Then an hour and a half later, the team that's in second leaves. That's what it's like to start in the NFL. For this season, it's like, all right, Chiefs, get going. A couple minutes later, Niners, get going. A couple minutes later, Bengals, Ravens, you guys are up next. Like, I don't know, I'm very high on the Bengals, I guess. But it's like, and then dead last, Panthers, get going. And it's after everybody else has already been out there. Unless you make up that ground where you can. In a 5-week break, there is some of that. If I am the Panthers, a player, and by the way, every player is not going to be able to do it. It's also the only time you get to see your families. It's also the only time you get to do some other important stuff. But if I'm Bryce Young, I'm doing the most I can to be like, hey, from this date to this date, we're going to be in LA or wherever I want to do it. From this date to this date, we're going to be in Raleigh, North Carolina. Be there whenever you can. I'm going to be there working out. I have access to a field in the gym. I have access to a film facility. I'm going to organize some cool activities for us. We're going to have good dinners. We're going to be at cool events. We're going to sing karaoke, right? Whatever team building. We're going to bowl. We're going to laser tag, whatever it is. If you can be there, be there. And then you just try to get as many people as you can there for as long as you can. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
We are the 4 horsemen. Woo!
Stanley Cup Finals. Game 4 went just as we expected, right?
Nope.
8-1. Oilers over Panthers. 8-1. After the Panthers started the series 3-0, won the first 3 games. After one win for the Oilers in Game 4, the scoring total is even. Both teams have scored 12 goals in the series. That's what 8-1 will do. The question is it going to change anything, or did it just prolong the inevitable? Did it just give the Oilers a cool highlight film to show this offseason on the Jumbotron? Or did it actually change anything? I'm leaning further towards it's just something that gives the Oilers a little save face. It's just something that makes the Washington Capitals season, postseason, a little bit more difficult because they're the only team that was swept. Connor McDavid, the leader of the Oilers, was asked if 8 goals means anything for the future of the series.
No, I don't think so. It's just one win. That's all it is. Doesn't matter if you score 8 or you score 1. It's just one win, and we got to go to Florida and do a job and drag them back to Alberta.
And I talk about this. This is where the media cheats. This is where I will cheat. There is a world where that game was like a big turning point, right? And if the Oilers force Game 7 or something, you better believe, even right here on this show, I'll be going, that 8-1 victory changed everything. But I don't think in the moment it feels like it does. I think the Panthers are going to try to muddy up the game. I think they're going to want to finish it out at home. I think Bobrovsky is, I guess he was due for a rough one. And now it's going to be a more lock-in moment.
I mean, I don't really think a lot of people had, we didn't necessarily think, we could think that Edmonton could win one game, but I don't think not many people had on their bingo card for Edmonton to win 8-1. Kind of like you were saying, nobody expected Bob to have that bad of a showing.
I mean, you can go back and listen to it on Friday. We both predicted that Florida would close out the series. I did reserve the possibility that Connor McDavid could put the team on his back, and he's one of the few people on the planet that can simply say, we're not going to get swept. I'm not going to allow it. And if this game were 4-1 and he had his 4 points, his 3 assists, and his goal, I would go, all right, that's exactly what happened. 8-1, when you take away all the points that Connor McDavid had and it's still 4-1, that's something bigger. That is, I talk about these days, right? We all have another one of those days. So you had a bad day where you wake up and turns out your towel had fell off the towel rack the night before, so it never dried, and it's just like soggy. And then you go to brush your teeth, and the toothpaste squirts onto your shirt, and you usually don't even put on your nice shirt before you go to brush your teeth, but for some reason you did today, and you right over the front, ruined it, have to go get a new one. You walk all the way downstairs before you remember that your phone and wallet are up in the bedroom, and when you go up in the bedroom, for some reason you walk up the stairs loud, and it wakes the baby, and it's just like, we all have those days where it feels like nothing goes right. The reverse is also true, right? There are those days where just everything is going perfectly, right? And you wake up and the birds are chirping, right? And for the first time in 2 weeks, you slept until your alarm, so you're refreshed. And you trip walking outside your door, but guess what? You don't wake the baby. You go downstairs and you just remembered you got your favorite cereal the day before. And the perfect amount of milk is in the milk container. And it's just everything goes. You get in the car, you turn on the radio, it's your favorite show, and they're talking about your favorite team. Because, of course, you're tuned into 99.9 The Fan. And the Unsportsmanlike, the national show, is talking about the Panthers. And you're super jacked about it. And they're being optimistic. Like certain days, everything just goes your way. Oilers had one of those days. Can they win when they don't have one of those days? When it's a more traditional, normal, middle-of-the-pack day. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
1, 2, 3.
NBA Finals Game 5 tonight. Should we assume that the Stanley Cup Finals Game 5 tomorrow is going to follow whatever happens in the NBA Finals Game 5 tonight? Because is it not absolutely obvious that the NBA Finals go up 3-0, the Stanley Cup Finals go up 3-0? The NBA Game 4 goes dramatically and over the top blowout to the team that was down 3-0, and then the Stanley Cup Finals go dramatically and over-the-top blowout to the team that was down 3-0. And now they're going to Game 5. I'm thinking the biggest fans of the Dallas Mavericks have to be the Edmonton Oilers, right? It's just the parallels are too perfect. And maybe the lessons that the Florida Panthers have to learn are the same lessons that the Boston Celtics have to learn. And if you listen to Jason Tatum, one of the better players on the Celtics, it's the same lesson that you have to teach like 6-year-olds. Here's Jason Tatum.
After Game 4, he just reminded us that to have fun. We wanted to go for the kill, essentially, and we wanted to win so bad that maybe we got away from what makes us special and what makes us the Boston Celtics.
Have fun. Go out there and have fun. I mentioned that I started my coaching career, assistant coaching career, for my 3-year-old son, coaching soccer over the weekend. First practice was on Saturday. You know what we told them? Just have fun. We're just out here to have fun. Imagine that. The same thing we're telling 3-year-olds on Saturday in Wake Forest is the same thing the coach is telling the Boston Celtics, one win away from an NBA championship. For some reason, I think it's a little bit more complicated for them. We don't even keep score.
It almost felt like all Luka had to do, and I mean, he did score like what 25 of his first 35 points, something like that, like just in the first quarter.
Yeah, I think he had 20
maybe.
of his 27.
20, yeah.
But Kyrie had 35.
Kyrie was one. I wasn't trying to give Luka too much credit.
They both could have scored 40.
Credit.
They both could have scored 40. There's just no need to.
He cleaned up his game significantly. It's almost like he forgot about the reps. He didn't let them get into his head too much, and he just went out there and played.
Just had fun?
Yeah, he just had fun.
Just had fun. Maybe that's the key. Maybe all this analysis we do, it's foolish. Who cares about who's getting hot? Who cares about the refs' calls? Who cares about who's playing the better defense? Who cares about who's in foul trouble? It's who's having the most fun that's going to win the NBA Finals. Who has the bigger smile on their face? It's going to win the NBA Finals. If that were the case, the Knicks would have won it all because the Knicks were having a blast. They were like their best friends from college all playing together in the NBA. They lost, though. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's jump to number 2.
Just the two of us.
All right. College baseball World Series update. Which one should we start with? Should we go good news or bad news?
Always go with the bad news.
NC State eliminated as of, 17 minutes ago? Lost to Florida in an elimination game. That's a tough one. 5-4 final score. I'll kind of give you the breakdown. NC State struck first, scored in the opener. And actually, we can vouch for this, Graham. In the first inning, NC State loaded the bases with 1 out. And it felt like, ooh boy, got one, right? It felt like NC State, this is it. They got a base knock, drove in 1 run, and that was it. From that point forward, they got out of the jam. Florida got out of the jam. And it felt like right in that moment, this is not 2020 hindsight, in that moment we were talking about it, felt like they needed to get more, right? And sure, you'd like to have faith in your pitching staff to, hey, one run's all you need technically, but I mean, Florida's in Omaha for a reason too, right? They have guys that can swing the bat also, and they went up 4-1, and it was, bases loaded very quickly after. State responded to 4-3, and they never were able to close the gap. I don't think they even tied it up again and ended up losing 5-4. It is the definition of what coaches will tell you at every level. You never know what play is going to be the one that decides it. We'll talk about the U.S. Open in a second. Sure, the missed putt on 18 is the one you're going to remember, but if you made a better pitch shot on the 6th hole on Saturday, you would have been 1 stroke better there too, right? You never know which play is the one that's going to affect things, and I think with NC State, they're going to look back at that first inning when they had the 3 runners on and 1 out, bases loaded, 1 out, and came away with just 1 run as one of those pretty crucial moments that did them in.
Ducks on the pond's always going to hurt you. And another thing that hurt NC State is that they did not hit well today. I mean, they were making contact with the ball. They just could not find the gaps. There was a lot of flyouts. I think the only other time they scored is when AMAC hit that 2-run home run.
Yep.
I made it 4-3.
I believe so. Actually, I have the stats right here in front of me. They finished the game with 6 hits, 4 runs scored, no errors. Yeah, it's just a tough. 3 of the runs were scored by Pennington. Little fun fact for you. So after Friday, remember where we were Friday? Friday, here in the Triangle on the air, about this time we had just watched Vance Honeycutt hit a walk-off game-winning base hit for UNC. NC State was yet to play. Omaha had just gotten started. The College Baseball World Series had just gotten started in Omaha. And we were riding high. We're talking about, hey, if NC State and UNC played against each other in the finals, then they should move it to Durham. They should play it at DBAP. They should play it at the Durham Bulls Athletic Park.
What have we done?
Or we should go out there. We should find a way to get to Omaha if that happens, right? We were riding high. And I'm not superstitious, so I'm not saying we jinxed anything, but I am saying that we've gone from there. Vance Honeycutt walk-off, NC State yet to play, confidence as high as anything. Both hosted regionals, both won the regionals that they hosted. Look at this, look at this, look at this. 4 of the 8 teams there were from the ACC. Now State's been eliminated. Virginia's been eliminated. Florida State and UNC are going to play each other tomorrow. The ACC is decimated. The Triangle, which started in a double elimination tournament with 2 teams, is down to 1 loss. Like there's 1 team and 1 more loss will do them in. We've fallen a long way, but there's still a chance, right? And that's UNC, and they've already moved on from their loss to Tennessee. Here's Scott Forbes on the overall loss to Tennessee.
A lot of credit to Tennessee. I thought Drew Beam was really, really good. We had our chance at 1 inning. Obviously, we didn't capitalize. At the end of the day, I thought that, they got the big hit and they capitalized, and we could not do that. I thought top to bottom, we pitched the ball pretty dang well. But they got it done with runners in scoring position, and we didn't. It's credit to them. The good thing is we lost, but we ain't done. So we'll bounce back, and we'll be ready to roll on Tuesday.
Ready to roll on Tuesday. That's all you can ask. I said this earlier. I'll say it one more time. Somebody needs to help Vance Honeycutt. And that's not to say he hasn't gotten any help. Like, obviously, you don't win games in Omaha, and they did win their opener. You don't play a team like Tennessee and not have the wheels fall off unless you're getting contributions from a bunch of different places. But you need a big performance from Vance Honeycutt and someone else. Vance Honeycutt's going to be a first-round pick. Vance Honeycutt is an All-American. Vance Honeycutt has all the accolades. You're going to expect him to show up. Someone else has to, right? You lost to Tennessee, the number 1 team in the country, 6-1. Honeycutt hit a home run, right? That's kind of the best example, right? The previous game you won on a Vance Honeycutt walk-off. It needs to be someone else helping Vance Honeycutt.
You also got to get going early. You can't wait until around the 4th inning, midway through the game, to start getting your first couple of hits in the game. You got to come out, set the tone early, foot on the gas. It's win or go home. You got to take advantage.
Can't hold anything back.
Empty the tank.
That's number 2. Let's get to number 1. U.S. Open finished up right here in North Carolina, down the road at Pinehurst over the weekend. And yikes, Rory McIlroy. Way to go, Bryson DeChambeau. That's the 2 ways to think about it, right? Way to go, Pinehurst. First of all, clap it up for Pinehurst.
Take a bow.
Clap it up. The background, the drama, the course setup, so much of it was so good. The pin placements on the weekend were fantastic. So credit to the organizers, the USGA, and the course operators for putting together a great tournament. Let's talk Rory bad news first. Rory McIlroy had 2 separate 3-footers, a little bit less, on the final handful of holes. And if he would have just made them, at worst, he's in a playoff. At worst, he's in a playoff against Bryson DeChambeau, and Rory's confident, right? Because he's playing well and he forced the playoff. At best, him making one of those two putts or making both of them leads to a win because the butterfly effect, right? If he makes both, he finishes one stroke better than Bryson finished. If he makes one and misses one, you never know what if that pressure would have mattered for Bryson, right? Because he gets up and down to win the tournament. If he has to make that same up and down knowing if he doesn't, he loses, maybe that's a different kind of pressure. Maybe he doesn't perform as well. Andy North, analyst on the loss for Rory McIlroy.
I would think tonight's going to be just a miserable night for Rory. The putt on the 72nd hole was really a difficult one. It was, maybe 4 feet downhill, slider from left to right, had to play it outside the hole, probably a cup. Those are not easy to make, particularly the speeds, these greens. But the one at 16, I think that's the one that he's just beating himself over. And he played 2 beautiful shots and he 3-putt from 20 feet or whatever it was. That just kills you. But, he made so many putts all week long. His short game was beautiful. The pitch that he hit at 18 was a fantastic pitch. He pitched it like that a ton of times during the course of the week. It's just so sad that it comes down and can you make all those 4 or 5 footers? If you can, you've got a chance to win the Open. If you don't, you're not going to. And that was the case today.
And it's true. Can you make all of those 4 and 5 footers is the question. But all of those 4 and 5 footers aren't going to be the ones that replay in his brain over and over again when he closes his eyes at night. It's going to be that one 4 or 5 footer. It's actually a little shorter than that on 18.
I mean, I said it on Friday. One of my confidence was it Friday or Thursday? One of the days I was producing. I think it was Thursday, Cons and Cons, Rory McIlroy to finish in the top 10. He was able to do so
easily. But
he adds to his 4th major title in a row that he's come up short?
Well, I mean, 40th that he's come up short at a major. He hasn't won a major title since 2014, something like 10 years ago. 2,599 days or 3,599 days, but who's counting? I look at it like this. He's got a mental block on him now. He's been the best golfer in the world multiple of the years since he last won a major championship. He's won a bunch of tournaments since he last won a major championship. He's made probably $100 million since he last won a major championship. But in a lot of ways, golfers just count major championships, which leads us to Bryson DeChambeau, now a 2-time U.S. Open champion, 2-time major winner. I believe he's finished like 6th, 2nd, and 1st in the majors this year. He's really good. He's a character. He elicits emotion, whether you love him or hate him. The PGA Tour misses him. He's obviously a live guy. I think the PGA Tour misses people like him that are different, that aren't trying to do their best Rory or Tiger impression. He is willing to stick out like a sore thumb, and it worked for him this weekend. Credit to him. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Want to tell you about everything going on over at Bailey's Fine Jewelry in their Village District location in Raleigh, specifically at their Fox & Bailey watch shop all the way on the right and their Omega Boutique all the way to the left when you walk in the store. The Omega line, right, that they are obviously an official retailer of because they have this boutique, second largest Omega boutique of its kind in the entire country. The Omega brand is really expanding some of their options. They're putting some really cool Speedmasters out right now. Speedmaster is the moon watch. It's the watch that's been worn on the moon. It's officially the watch of NASA for astronauts. And then they're also putting out some cool Seamasters, which many of you would recognize from the wrist of one of your favorite movie spies. And yes, it's that really famous one you're thinking of. It's also the official timekeeper of the Olympic Games. I saw Omega's putting out a new Seamaster in honor of one of their partners who's an Olympic pole vaulter, world record holder, champion, all that kind of stuff, where the seconds hand looks like a pole vault. It's those really subtle things that make these watches iconic and meaningful. So go ahead and check some of them out. They're at the Omega Boutique located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. One of those if you know, you know things, right? If you didn't, you'd look at it and just think it's a stunning watch. That is a advanced piece of timekeeping. But if you do know, you take that extra time, you look at it, it's an if you know, you know thing. A lot of it is. Let's go ahead and check them out. Again, Village District location in Raleigh of Bailey's Fine Jewelry. The Omega Boutique located all the way to the left. Graham, what do we have to give away now for the numbers game?
$50 gift card to Deep River Sporting Clay and Shooting School. Again, $50 gift card to
Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School.
Yep.
All right, there you go. That's the prize. We need a couple of contestants. In order to play, you have to call in 919-860-5326. The winner will win the gift card. But again, if you want to play, you have to call in 919-860-5326. We need 2 contestants. Numbers game next.
The Adam Gold Show.
Because I feel like we have to bring this up. Caitlin Clark did not receive a special exemption into the U.S. Open by the USGA. That is probably an oversight, and I'm sure many think pieces will be written about it. Tiger Woods did get a special exemption into the U.S. Open, even though he clearly isn't one of the 12 best American players, which, if you ask me, is a double standard.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
It's bow time. Listen up, because we've got some big news to share. You might want to sit down for this. Bow Sauce is back at Bojangles. If you think you missed it, just imagine how our Supremes must have felt. Because there's no better sauce to pair with our crispy golden chicken Supremes. They're already boldly seasoned to perfection, but add Bow Sauce and you can taste a truly legendary combination that will make you want to yell, "It's bow time." So don't wait. Grab a Supreme and dip into some Bow Sauce. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing to satisfy your craving for flavor with a Bojangles Chicken Supremes dinner. Choose a 3-piece or 4-piece Supremes dinner. Get your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea. And don't forget the sauce for dipping, because Bow Sauce is back. That's right, Bow Sauce is back. Hungry for flavor and value and love the Bow Sauce? Then it's bow time.
Houston, permission to detach boosters.
Negative, Commander. You're off course for the moon. Sensors show something massive on board. Did you bring additional items?
Only the new loaded scratch-offs.
Those are loaded with $50, $100, $500, and $2,000 prizes. You're on a trajectory towards Mars.
Nice. First person on Mars. Take that, billionaires.
New loaded scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Massive amounts of prizes. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.8 to 4.88. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Rise and shine, honey. We don't want to miss our flight.
Our flight is in 7 hours. And we have TSA PreCheck with our Navy Federal flagship credit card.
TSA PreCheck? Getting my bugle through security will be so much easier now.
Learn how you can earn up to 3 times points on travel with the flagship credit card at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA.
It's Men's Health Month. Time to check under the hood and take stock of some things, and to talk about some important topics like testicular and prostate health. About 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. In fact, it's the most common cancer in men behind skin cancer, and about 34,000 men die from prostate cancer each year in the United States. Don't become a statistic. Schedule your preventative screening today. Arise, the Urology Clinic for Men and Associated Urologists of Cary have got you covered. Our board-certified urologists can get you checked out and help with any urology-related conditions you may be dealing with, from low testosterone to kidney, prostate, and bladder functions, to name just a few. So make your appointment today at AriseTheClinicForMen.com. The best way to tackle preventable health problems is early detection and treatment, so don't ignore your health. Be proactive and schedule your screening today for you, for your family, for your future. Let's get this done at AriseTheClinicForMen.com.
Hank Bauer, Chairman, ABC Commission. Talk it out, NC. Do we know what are the factors that most kids start because of?
It's mostly just peer pressure, which is unfortunate. And that's why, the website I think is so great to give kids an out. Because it's hard for a kid to say, oh, I'm not going to do that. Oh, you're not cool. You're not going to drink with us. So this gives them a lot of answers, how to answer those issues when they're pressured, and then also outs as far as how to contact their parents for like a 911 won. Let's go. I got to get out of here.
The website, talkitoutnc.org.
Every shot, every goal. ESPN Bet has fans covered for the biggest moments on the road to the championship. The exclusive sports book of ESPN is the only place to find special shows and promotions from your favorite ESPN shows and personalities throughout the playoffs. New users can get a bet reset up to $1,000 in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. Download ESPN Bet today. What a play. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game, one of our favorite segments of the week. So much so that we do it every day. Every day about this time, we offer up the opportunity for a couple of listeners to win an awesome prize by way of the numbers game. The prize for today is a $50 gift card to Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. And either, let me bring up the names here, Derek in Raleigh or Tim in Clayton will win that prize. We'll start with Derek in Raleigh. As always, we ask a question to see who gets to go first. We pick our favorite answer. Derek, what was the highlight of your past weekend, but keep it sports related?
Yeah, probably seeing Carolina get that game one win on Friday, although to follow it up with the loss was a little tough. But good to see them do well in the first game.
All right, that's a solid answer. It was, we enjoyed it a ton. It was fun seeing that game, the walk-off. We go to Tim and Clayton. Tim and Clayton, same question to you. This past weekend, what was the highlight of your weekend? The only caveat, it has to be sports-related.
I'm going to go with Bryson mixing it up with the fans, as they were, don't boo me for not taking a driver out on 13 when he knew he got a layup. So just seeing him win, he's got a bad reputation. Just seeing him take the W locally here was nice.
All right, you know what? I'm going to let Graham decide because Graham's not always our producer, and sometimes I think we got to give you the full experience when you're producing the show.
They're both local, but as someone who went to their first major tournament yesterday at Pinehurst number 2 for the U.S. Open, I got to go with Tim and Clayton.
All right, there you go. Graham was boots on the ground. So
good answer, though, Derek.
Tim and Clayton gets to go first. Are you there, Tim?
I'm here.
All right, the categories are NFL colorful players. These are all players with colors in their name. NFL, I suited up for the Panthers. These are all players that played for the Panthers, but we want their jersey number for a team other than the Panthers. NBA, current players only, or NHL, Canes and Whalers only?
Let's go with the colorful NFL players.
All right, these are all players who have colors in their names. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There will be 30 seconds on the clock. You have one pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
Nope, ready to go.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. A.J. Green, Cincinnati Bengals.
11.
Incorrect. Mike White, New York Jets.
6.
Incorrect. A.J. Green, Cincinnati Bengals.
18.
Correct. Derek Brown, Carolina Panthers.
Pass.
Joe Green, Pittsburgh Steelers.
76.
Incorrect. Mike White, New York Jets.
11.
Incorrect. Derek Brown, Carolina Panthers.
27.
Incorrect. Joe Green, Pittsburgh Steelers.
77.
Incorrect. Mike White, New York Jets.
8.
Incorrect. You went in the wrong direction on Joe Green. You got A.J. Green with 18. That was right. Mike White with the Jets, number 5. Felt like you were in the mix there. A couple more guesses, you might have gotten it.
I'm a Jets fan, too.
It was a magical Mike White run a couple of years ago. Derek White with the Panthers were number 95. Mean Joe Green with the Steelers, you said 76, you said 77, so you know what the answer is going to be.
78.
It was 75. You just went in the wrong direction. You were building up the wrong way. So it was 75. But you did get one, so go ahead and sit on the line. We'll see if it's good enough to hold up, okay?
Cool, thank you.
Yep. That means it's time for Derek and Raleigh. Derek, are you there?
Yeah, can you just give me the categories one more time?
Yep, of course. The categories are NFL, I suited up for the Panthers, all players that played for the Panthers, but we want their jersey number on a different team. You want that one?
Yes, sir.
All right. Can you read the categories? First one, deal, sold. We'll go ahead and give you the rules one more time. I'm going to give you a team and a player, or a player and a team, more likely. You give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There will be 30 seconds on the clock. You have one pass if you need it, and you need 2 to get the win. Any questions before we get started?
No questions.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. DJ Moore's Chicago Bears.
12.
Incorrect. Baker Mayfield, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
6.
Correct. David Carr, Houston Texans.
6. 4.
Incorrect. 4. Incorrect. DJ Moore, Chicago Bears.
Pass.
Mike Tolbert, San Diego Chargers.
27.
Incorrect. David Carr, Houston Texans.
6.
Incorrect. DJ Moore, Chicago Bears. Felt like you were close. DJ Moore with the Bears wears number 2.
Yep.
You went 12 right out the gate, or 11. I forget what you said, but it felt close. Baker Mayfield with the Bucks, 6. David Carr with the Texans, 8. Mike Tolbert with the Chargers were number 35. I feel like that's right in that kind of running back style mode. Unfortunately, not enough for the win, but hopefully you had some fun playing.
A lot of fun. Love the show. Thank you for everything.
Of course, appreciate it. And your Tar Heels are still alive, so maybe a loss here means your juju will pay off with a win tomorrow. And that means Tim and Clayton, you are the winner. Tim, congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you.
I wouldn't say it was the most dominant, but a win is a win. You don't give them back.
I was going to say I kind of feel terrible for winning with 1, but I'll take it.
Yeah, like I said, you don't give them back. So that means you get the $50 gift card to Deep River Sport, Clays, and Shooting School. Hopefully you enjoy it. Go ahead and sit on the line, and Graham will get the info he needs to make sure you get your gift card.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That's a cool place. I've been there once, so I'm excited to go back.
Perfect. Appreciate it. We'll have to pass that along to Dennis. Dennis is always out there and trying to get people to check it out. That's, again, Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Right now, I'm Tim Donnelly for someone I love telling you about that you should check out and you should make your way out there, and that's my partners over at Capital Financial Advisory Group, including Coach Pete. Coach Pete was out at the golf tournament over the weekend. He also wants to help you regain control of your foundation for retirement and to see you to and through a worry-free retirement. You spend so much of your life, so much of your career worrying about retirement. Am I putting enough away? Am I putting it in the right spot? Am I getting to, am I? Once you get to retirement, you want to be worry-free. Matter of fact, in the lead up to retirement, you want to be worry-free. So call now for Coach Pete's famous and elaborate total retirement plan to take those worries away. There are 22, yes, you heard that right, 22 steps that go with this process of identifying your unique financial composition and identifying the best way for you to navigate the journey along the way to and through retirement. Coach Pete and his team at Capital Financial develop a total and customized plan for each of their clients. Coach Pete is committed to helping you retire like a champion, getting you through the financial red zone, over the goal line, and into the retirement end zone. You would think as a sports radio host, I wouldn't botch when we finally get to the part about the sports metaphor, right? I know where the red zone is. Coach Pete is committed to helping you retire like a champion, getting you through the financial red zone, over the goal line, and into that retirement end zone. Call 800-691-3215. But you have to promise me you'll tell them you heard about it right here from me, Tim, on 99.9 The Fan. So give them a call, 800-691-3215. Say, I heard about it from Tim. Or you can text Tim, T-I-M, to 600-700. That's Tim to 600-700 if you are more of a texter. Let them know we sent you. Again, that's Capital Financial Advisory Group with Coach Pete. We're going to take a break. When we come back, one of the sparkiest topics in sports right now, the WNBA rivalries, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. What can we do to get more eyeballs on the WNBA? And, more importantly, on the great college basketball played right here in the Triangle. Stick around.
Move your sports day forward.
The Carolina Hurricanes window is now. There are some pieces that will have to be let go here in the offseason. We just know, just in terms of money, this team has played its way, and its players have played their way into contracts that more fit their roles and more fit their abilities on the ice.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Thinking of popping the question? Diamonds Direct has an offer you can't miss. This month only, buy a natural diamond engagement ring of 1 carat plus and receive a free natural 1 carat diamond tennis bracelet valued at $2,000. Imagine giving her the ring of her dreams and her wedding gift all at once. No one provides education, selection, and value like Diamonds Direct. Your chance to get a free tennis bracelet from your friends at Diamonds Direct won't last long. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
Hey, it's Victoria with 99.9 The Fan with a Men's Health Month tip from WakeMed Heart and Vascular. Each year, smoking causes more than 480,000 deaths in the United States. That's nearly 1 in 5 deaths. Those aren't odds you want to play with. Don't put off kicking the habit. In just 1 year after quitting, a person's risk for coronary heart disease decreases by half. Learn more about how you can quit and get started today, plus other ways to care for your heart at wakemed.org.
Get bonus days to save during Window Nation's semi-annual sale now through June 30th. Get 50% off all windows along with no interest for 5 years, plus a bonus 10% savings when you schedule an estimate. If your inefficient windows are costing you too much for air conditioning, that's a big deal. Now during Window Nation's semi-annual sale, you can replace them and save a big deal too. Offer ends June 30th, so schedule your in-home estimate now. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities, just all your friends, burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Grilling, better with Pepsi.
For a limited time, get 2 20-ounce Pepsis for only $4.25 at Refuel. So hurry in and enjoy an ice-cold Pepsi today.
Everyone and everything is trying to become more streamlined, more efficient these days, so why not you? Adam Gold here from my friends at Travers LASIK and Dr. Lori Travers, the Triangle's only LASIK specialist, and this is your chance to streamline your day-to-day. If you are a contact lens or glasses wearer, get rid of everything involved, the lenses, the cleaning, the trips to the store, the replacement lenses and glasses, and the cost that comes with them. So how about we hit up Travers LASIK? Get Dr. Lori Travers to work her magic, 5 minutes per eye. You could go back to work the very next day. That may or may not be a selling point. Plus, they're offering $1,000 off, 0% financing for qualified customers. And if you are not sure if you can afford it, just go to traverslasik.com. Check out their affordability calculator. Very official. The consultation is free. 919-510-6830. TraversLASIK.com. Travers LASIK. See what you've been missing.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up! And call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
At the UPS Store, we know being a small business owner means holiday time is still go time. Still get those orders shipped time. And still re-up on stamps and supplies time. That's why this upcoming holiday, while others close up shop, we'll be open. And happy to help you keep being unstoppable. Come into your local store today. Most locations are independently owned. Product services, pricing, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Please, everybody, subscribe to our YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan. We had a meeting today about all the different ways we're going to make our YouTube channel awesome. And there's so much work. This is me passing along everything. There's so much work being done behind the scenes by the great people here at our station on our 99.9 The Fan YouTube page that I can't suggest enough that you subscribe and you pay attention to the things we're doing there because, if you're listening to this show, you're probably somebody that, likes college sports. You're probably somebody that's into the Panthers or the Canes, or you're into the sports as a whole, and you're here trying to embrace the community. And all of that is what's happening on our YouTube page, 99.9 The Fan. So check it out. That's all I'm saying. Subscribe, like, comment, watch the videos, share the videos, pass them along to your friends. We would all greatly appreciate it. So with that being said, that's kind of a lesson right there, right? Get eyeballs to your content. The WNBA right now has eyeballs to their content, and it's how you react from this point forward that is going to change things. We're watching right now on, I don't even know what channel, the ESPN2 here on the in the studio. We have 3 TVs here. Chicago Sky and Indiana Fever highlights. I sat in this chair for a year before that became a sentence that I would say, right? Those things just weren't a thing. And why? Well, Angel Reese is on the floor. Caitlin Clark is on the floor. Camila Cardoso is on the floor. These rivalries help. And guess what? Angel Reese, hard foul on Caitlin Clark. I'm watching it right now. This is ironic. Perfect timing. Angel Reese swiped from the back, trying to block a shot, maybe not trying to block a shot, maybe trying to be a physical fouler, and ended up catching an elbow on Caitlin Clark's head. Guess what? Rivalries feed popularity. This is good for the sport. Now, guess what? I'm going to make you guess everything on this set. Guess what? I'm going to say that before each and every point. Caitlin Clark has every right to hate Angel Reese. Angel Reese has every right to be bitter towards Caitlin Clark. That's how we let the guys do it. If 2 NBA players played against each other in an NCAA final, you don't think that would carry over a little bit into their NBA rivalry? You darn right it would. And if one was getting more popularity than the other, you don't think the other would be bitter? You darn right they would. And if one was fouling the other hard, you don't think the one that was absorbing those fouls would hate the other? You're darn right they would. We, here in this area, love women's college basketball, right? Because UNC and Duke and State and all of these teams put together good teams so often. We know the quality of play. The most important thing that can happen right now is for great basketball to be played in the WNBA and for everyone within it to be allowed to be human. I hate that Caitlin Clark feels like she has to almost compliment Angel Reese every time she's asked about it. Oh, well, Angel's a great player, and it goes back to our college time. We've had a lot of great battles. I'm going like, no. Say, I don't like the one that hits me in the head. That's human. And I'm so sick of Angel Reese having to like praise. Like everyone's like, oh, why isn't everyone more appreciative of Caitlin Clark? I'm like, because they're trying to beat her. They're trying to win the game. The thing I will keep saying is the basketball has to be the priority. Everything else, you can be a human. Right? Those are the athletes we love the most. Right? The ones that are good. Right? That's kind of quintessential. And the ones that show us their personality off the floor, that are authentic. Right? If you're a funny person, be funny. If you're like Kawhi Leonard, right? We've heard him laugh like once in his 12-year NBA career. If that's you, be you. Like, just don't. I don't like how everything is scrutinized in a way that makes it seems like there's a right and a wrong way to be without opening up. I feel like, have you seen the movie Sully? I know you haven't seen the movie.
Yes.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
We got one. Tom Hanks, when Sullenberger landed the plane on the Hudson.
If it's a Tom Hanks movie, chances are I've seen it because he's one of my favorite actors.
All right, perfect. We got one. There's that point in the hearing right? Where Tom Hanks is about to just give him the mic drop, right? And he hits him with like can we be real for a second, right? So this whole movie is about the pilot that had to land the plane on the water because they had birds hit their engines and they both failed. And the insurance company, I think, is trying to say like it was his fault. They could have saved the aircraft by landing at an airport somewhere rather than on the water. And it's this big hearing, and his reputation's on the line, and the story's on the line. And they show in simulators that other pilots have been able to go through the same thing and land at an airport. And then he hits them with, okay, can we stop playing around? Can we be real for a second? And everyone's like, ooh, I feel the dramatic part in the movie. And he goes, you are not allowing for the human element. Nobody in the history of aircrafts have lost both engines at the low altitude that we did, and you're not giving us 30 seconds to go, oh my gosh, what just happened? And then, of course, it's, not to spoil a movie for you, but you know how it is. The guy's a hero. He writes a book. Everybody loves him. That's not spoiling because we saw that happen in real life. It's Captain Sully. I feel like with the WNBA, we need to have that moment. Everyone's like, Caitlin Clark needs to do this. Angel Reese needs to do this. The older girls need to do this. The younger girls need to do this. This is the. And I'm sitting there going, can we be real for a second? Can we have the real conversation for a second? You are not accounting for the human element. These are competitors on a court trying to win a game. And the older girls or women, I guess I should be saying women this whole time, the older women that are seemingly not just going, oh, great, Caitlin Clark is here, yippee-yay, yippee-yay, that are seemingly a little bitter towards her. Well, guess what? They're fighting to hold on to the league that they have owned for the last little bit, the Diana Taurasi's of the world. Like, you have to let them be human. You have to. And then if the quality is good enough, and we've seen great quality basketball here in our area, if the quality is good enough, people will stick around. Let them be humans. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We are this close to crowning an NBA champ. Literally this close. Hair on my chinny chin. And with the action heating up on the court, it's even hotter at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. And DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered every step of the way with same-game parlays. Those are fun. Live betting, that's fun. Odds boost, even better. And so much more. Don't miss out as the NBA postseason winds down. It's super easy to get started with DraftKings if you're a first-timer. I've been saying this for a while now. Just bet on something simple, like a team to win. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook on the app. Select your team. Place your first bet. It's that simple. And if you're new to DraftKings, you got to check this out. I have a little something special for you. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code TIMD. That's TIMD at signup. And new customers, when you do that, you'll get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. So you bet the $5, the $150 bonus bets go right into your account. Only at DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. With that being said, we're nearing the end of the Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. But don't you worry, because we have Overdrive coming up next, including the next in our series of 99 questions about college sports from earlier today. That conversation will lead off Overdrive here on 99.9 The Fan. Graham and I will be back at 3 o'clock tomorrow for The Drive. Until then, have a great night, everybody.
We're jamming your June with championships. The NBA Finals.
The Dallas Mavericks put down a 38-point beatdown on the Boston Celtics.
The Stanley Cup Finals.
McDavid the other way, scores! This one can't end soon enough for the Florida Panthers.
The U.S. Open.
And strokes the putt up the hill, into the middle. 2 times a U.S. Open champion, Bryson DeChambeau.
Catch every winning moment